What's up, everyone? Welcome back for game number 2. We just saw Reality TV beat the JJ-less WW, and now, Clemps, we get another CL versus T3 matchup.
Yeah, it's an exciting one. That's for sure. Arial Arise Academy versus Luminosity Gaming. These two teams, both 2-1, looking to promote themselves and get on into the playoffs. Arial Arise ACAD, a roster that everyone thought was just going to clean sweep through the playoffs. Thought they were going to be able to contest through Pro League and throughout through everyone that's been here, but they've had a little bit tougher of a time. But their opponent, Luminosity Gaming, they've also had some interesting circumstances for sure. At least as we talked about the most recent matchups, Oxygen being the most recent game that they played. Harrison, you and I casted that just last week, and it was a 2-0 affair in favor of Oxygen.
Yeah, and this will be Arial Academy's first best of 3 as well, with LG going into their second after AAA lost the first game of the season against JJ, who is now has to go to that decider game 2-2. So if they lose here, maybe, and we'll have to see. But Arial Academy, I definitely agree. A lot of people thought they were going to be a front runner. Definitely took a little bit of a backseat after that loss, but after that have trudged on and taken out every opponent in front of them. They ended up going up against Lycus Empire. Yeah, they ended up going up against Lycus, 7-4 them on Theme Park, and then beat the main Arial team off stream on Clubhouse as well. So even though they lost that first game, they've still proven that they're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they're definitely a good roster, but contrary to that, I do think that Luminosity is in a better place here, at least for this matchup, especially after their performance against Oxygen, taking them 7-5 on Bank, taking them 7-4 on Chalet, and those are maps that both teams, I think, enjoy very much so. I think we probably will see at least one, if not both, of those maps in the map bans tonight, but these two rosters know each other very well. Obviously, there's some stories behind different players and different positionings of where they were at. And preseason, obviously, Asian playing in the play-in match with Arial Rise Academy and now playing for Luminosity Gaming. Spiker on the other end, he's playing for Arial Rise ACAD. And so these players, these teams, they're looking to get going and got some fire lit under them. But Luminosity Gaming, consisting of Eddie, Asian, Splash, Rice, and Julian. And well, this team most definitely, although they may have the most confusing names in the lobby, Eddie is one of those standout players that just continues to go off in every match that they play.
Yeah, that rating is actually being carried pretty heavily by Eddie right now. Asian is the only other one positively rated at a 1.06, but Eddie, a whopping 1.34 in 4 maps. His first game, a 1.42. His second game, also a 1.42. And even though they lost to OXG, he boasted a 1.5 in map 1 and 0.99 in map 2. So Eddie has by far and away been the front runner for this roster. And let me tell you, at a +19 and a +5, over 1 KPR playing that entry, really, I think, filling the vacancy of Silent really well. Like I said, he's going to need some help. A lot of the guys on the side of LG that you expect to perform other than Asian have not been. Splash is sitting down at the lowest rated on the team at a 0.66. Rice, not too far ahead of him at a 0.79. So LG are going to need to wake up, especially against AAA, where, I mean, all 10 players in the lobby right now are playmakers. Eddie and Asian are going to need help.
Yeah, they're all shooters, and definitely I agree with you, Harrison. Eddie and Asian really carried the weight of LG against Oxygen, and if one of those other players lower down on that list, if Julian had stepped up, if Splash had stepped up, if Rice was able to step up in just a few of those moments, they may have taken a map off of Oxygen and sent themselves into Clubhouse, which is one of their favorite stomping ground maps. They just destroy teams and demolish them there. So to see them get so close but just barely fall short, it's a little bit concerning for Luminosity. But on the other end, they're also taking on Arial Rise Academy, and this roster, very, very strong and lots of young gunners. And although they didn't start off the season exactly how everyone thought, and maybe even seeing them in that 3-0 range, they've still made their name after that upset loss versus Wichita Wolves. And here they are, Spiker, Neo, Ashen, Uzi, and Ambi, all great players.
with Neo being technically the newest member to the roster after they lost Spiff to Astralis. I mean, the fact that one of the members went straight from T3 to T1, I think speaks volumes to the caliber of every single other player on this team. An average 1.07 rating is really good, especially considering their lowest rating on the team is Ashen with a 0.94. So, like, none of these guys are really slacking. Ashen having a lower rating is a bit odd considering, he's usually the front runner for this team. He still plays a lot of Ashe. He'll still play entry on some maps, but there are a lot where you'll see him relegated to a slightly more supportive role, and that's kind of because he's taken up part of the shot calling too. He and Spiker co-IGL this team, and Spiker has been incredible so far as well. And I know this is a really important game for him considering, he was originally dropped for Asian, which made Spiker leave for IF. And then Asian went back to LG because Silent went to PB. And then they brought Spiker back. So it's a big game for Spiker. He's looking to prove himself. And I mean, he has so far throughout the season a 1.22 rating, 35 and 25 as kind of not really a hard support, but definitely on a supportive role. Eddie for sure trounces him in a lot of the important fragging statistics, but that's also just down to their different roles.
Yeah, with both of these players being so highly rated among their respective rosters, Eddie obviously is expected to get more kills and more frags in that entry department, but Spiker is so good on that defensive side. I mean, or on rather the attacking side. I mean, in that back end as a support player, Spiker does a very good job of just making sure that Arial, Rise, ACAD, they get through it and they go and get that bomb down, they get that execute going and through. And Spiker and Eddie, I mean, both of these players are going to be lighting up the lobby, and I think Spiker definitely has a reason to do so.
Yeah, this is a grudge match for him. Whether or not he'll still perform remains to be seen. I know he was definitely one of the top performers in the game against the main Arial Rise team. I think he had like an ace on Smoke. I know Ambi had an ace too. It's a real shame. I got to tell you, it's a real shame that game wasn't on stream, especially because I'm pretty sure I was supposed to cast it too, which makes me even more upset about it because I could have casted a Spiker ace and an Ambi ace and multiple Arial clutches on both sides. But yeah, that game is lost to the void, unfortunately.
Yeah, it would have been a cool game, but sometimes lobby issues happen, and we'll see. We haven't seen Arial Rise ACAD with Solus in play, at least not yet. Maybe in their ranked games, I'm sure that they've had a plenty healthy serving. But Luminosity, when they left Solus up on the board, being the most recent addition to Rainbow Six Siege, the newest operator, she's very strong. But Luminosity have their qualms against Solus, especially Oxygen used Solus in a very fantastic way. Already distributed how strong the operator really is. And I don't expect to see Solus today after how much Luminosity really struggled, especially if we go to those vertical linear maps that have a lot of soft destruction. Bank, Chalet, Villa, those maps that have a lot of that verticality and stuff. There's no way.
Yeah, it's the maps I think are going to be a big deciding factor for this game. I know like Arial definitely don't want to take LG to one of their really comfortable maps like Oregon. I know LG don't want to take AA to a comfortable map like Villa, and there you go, Oregon going to be banned immediately. LG know that AAA like the theme park, so a lot of this I feel are going to be counter bans. We'll have to see what the rest says. Border makes sense. Skyscraper makes sense. LG as well did just narrowly lose out to Reality TV and SI Open quals, with Cafe being one of the maps that they took them really close on. I don't expect to see Cafe here either. Bank and Chalet are our first maps. LG love Bank. They took 5 rounds off of OXG. That makes sense. And AAA have always been fans of Chalet. So 2 comfort maps coming out for both of these teams, but I think definitely not their number 1 picks. There's LG banning out the Villa, Arial with the Cafe, and our Deciders Clubhouse. I'm a little worried about this for LG because if memory serves correctly, they did not play... No, they played Club once. They played Club once and they won it against a struggling one-shot, whereas Arial, again, I'm going to say this, have always liked Club forever.
Yep. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
You're correct in that. Yeah. So the only time they won against the struggling one shot, and then in stage 3, and then the second win, the second time they played Clubhouse, I believe that they played. I'm trying to remember who. I can't remember, but they did get a win. Over I think Vipers. No, that was Arial Rise ACAD. With like a 7-0 win, they like stomped Vipers in on club. So definitely Clubhouse a concerning map. I think both teams like it, but I do think Arial Arise ACAD, if we go all the distance, I do think that they have the advantage.
And that's actually, I was just about to talk about this. I'm actually going to switch my vote. I'm switching.
Okay.
I think the maps actually cater to Arial ACAD. So I don't really care if it shows right now. Just know. And I'm going to do it on the sheet too. Right now, I'm going to the production sheet. AAA. And I've officially changed my vote before the game starts.
I respect it.
Also,
I respect it.
Also, I should be in the lead. I don't know why it says John is ahead of me. I would
John's
like the
fake.
record to show that I have 6 total predictions wrong across the whole league. John has 7. I am winning. And don't any of you forget that.
I don't think we'll forget. I mean, I had a really good start to predictions. Like in the first half of the season, I think it was like 10-2. And then there was a week that happened where I got like 3 wrong and 1 right, and then like another 3 wrong and 1 right. So it was like just my downfall. Just like my fantasy football teams, just down, way down in the ground. But Bank being the first map between these two teams, LG with a very good round, good map overall against Oxygen. I do expect them to actually take this map, I think, pretty easily. I don't recall seeing Arial Rise ACAD play Bank in any recent memory, so maybe in scrims, maybe they've been around, but I think they were just so worried about taking LG to one of their more primary heavy up maps, such as Oregon, which is a map that they love to go to. So seeing Arial Rise ban that rather than Bank makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, if there is one singular map in the entire map pool that you never ever want to bring LG to, it's Oregon.
It's scary.
So like that is their playground through and through, and if you take them to it, you're trolling. They could be up against an NAL team, and I would vote for LG. But the bans are starting to come in. Nook, our first ban, of course, because it is Bank. Bank is a big map. There's so many successful solo plays that we see from Nooks here. She's going to be taken off the board. Ying to follow from Arial ACAD, interestingly enough. I mean, LG are a big Ying team, both on this map, on Oregon, on Villa. Usually going to see Eddie, I think, or Rice playing her. But they do lean on her a lot when she's available. Kate and Valkyrie following. Cade ban is a little odd considering Thatcher is still up and most of the Cade play is on hatches where you can really easily just EMP it off. And banning the Cade leaves up Azami, Mira, and Solus. Very rare that we see all 3 of those operators up at the same time.
Yeah, there's so much opportunity here, especially with these bans kind of going targeted hand in hand against each other. Seeing Azami, Solus, Mira all on the board, it's going to make for a fun thing, I think. Particularly Mira being in play, it's an operator that can be an extreme pain in the rear to deal with, and we may see these teams get creative with some of the Mira play and maybe play some extensions upstairs or somewhere around. If not, you have Azami, which obviously Eddie is someone that I want to highlight on the Azami, who just hits his shots so well with the damn 9x19. I've seen him in so many of these death positions that he should just not be getting kills, and he's trading himself. He's getting him frag, and he's getting a second one, then gets traded out and actually puts his team in a more favorable position. So definitely look to see Eddie on the Azami on those top floor positions, most likely in stock, and as well as in like the executive office area.
Yeah, we're not. We were just hyping up those operators, and none of them are being played.
Angry.
So mainly down to the fact that LG are trying to roam. They're roaming heavy. They don't really need that Mira. If they need to fall back on the site, They've got those Goyos, they've got the smoke, they've got plenty of time waste. So they're just playing to probably shoot away info, play for their lives on this roam for as long as possible before falling back. But Arial Rise ACAD, I love that they're bringing the Jackal, knowing that LG are a big fan of these full map extensions. The Jackal's going to make things a little bit easier to clear, and this is a brilliant free fire. Uzi just holding down mouse 1, and there's nothing Rice can do.
The information there, and well, good roam clear so far for AAA as they continue to move on through, but the reinforcements starting to walk up the marble stairs here, and it's actually going to be Eddie on this roam upstairs with the Vector going to get away in this roam trade out, going very successfully so far for LG, but not so fast. Ashen with the cutoff down the marble stairs will cut down another Luminosity member, and with that, Arial Rise ACAD in the driver's seat for their first attack.
Another Luminosity member, huh? You have 3 seconds. Which one is he? Wait, who's Newcastle?
Splash. Splash. Splash.
Ooh,
Splash.
Okay. All right.
Got it.
I thought that was I thought that was a cop
them versus Oxygen, after casting versus Oxygen and playing them in ranked, I know their names.
That's true. That's a good point.
And
So
it's pain.
at the very least for this attack, the hatches are open. They've still got plenty of time to play with too. Eddie is low HP. He'll pop the first Goyo and well, actually, maybe it was Ashen who popped the Goyo. Yeah, because he was credited with the kill. So actually, I think Ashen may have just had incredible timing there to finish off the low HP Goyo. If he had more HP, maybe he gets out of there, but Ashen really wanted to clean up his kill, I guess. Ambi still has full util as well. So in a 4 versus 2, with 45 seconds left, Arial Rise ACAD have, in essence, 6 smokes, 2 firebolts, and 3 stuns. Up against only 3 gas canisters. Now, the gas canisters are well timed with only 30 seconds remaining, but how much are they going to matter now that Ashen has his 3rd kill of the round? Kixrow will have to stop the plant. Spiker's getting it down. That smoke babe is not going to catch him. And now the situation just went from bad to worse, now to almost unwinnable. They know exactly where he is, positioned behind this shield. They're just cutting the HP down, whittling away at this smoke slower and slower. And Ashen trades with Kixrow a 4K to open things up for AAA.
And Chow for the Twitch, I mean, going so well. Ashen just cleaning up almost all of Luminosity, other than, I believe it was Uzi who had that pre-fire kill on the top floor. But good information for Arial Rise ACAD. Drones aplenty all over the map. The meat jammers not doing their job, and Luminosity might have to bring an operator that's going to help them deny those drones. And there's Solus being played out on the board. Obviously, Rice thinking a little bit better of, hey, how can we get rid of these drones? Luminosity, they failed to exploit the power that an operator like Solus brings, and hopefully they've made some changes, gotten a couple more scrims under their belt, and might be able to showcase her power and ability a little bit more.
I really hope LG went back to the drawing board with the Solus after seeing how OXG played it against them. I do like the early usage, scoping out the map, trying to find preset drones by Arial ACAD, but if I'm reading the silhouettes correctly, every single one of them is outside with the exception of Ambi's. So they're playing the drones very safe, and that's kind of what Solus forces you to do. Like, obviously teams get rewarded for really good cutoffs. With a Solus in play, not only really good cutoffs, but really good just drone spots in general. With a Solus in play, it kind of takes that off the board and forces you to play a different style of droning, which is to keep them all in spawn and then have all of your info come after the prep phase is over. And especially on a map like Bank that's so freaking huge, it's a really powerful, almost like passive ability that Solus has.
Yeah, with an operator like Solus being added, and the ability, like you're mentioning, Harrison, to cut those drones off, right? You don't want to bring your drone on the map because Solus is just going to spot all of those drones, get those free points, and deny your information. I think Ubisoft has tried to slow down the game so that there's not those cut-off drones, and you're seeing more of these last-minute, late-round executes, and these heavy roam clears that teams are really trying to force the attack to do, and that's exactly what we see yet again by Luminosity. But they've already fallen back into open area, losing one of their 3 layers of defense, the 3rd layer being the bomb site, of course. But now it's on for Arial Rise ACAD to peel back the 2nd layer and start working on this middle floor.
And what's significantly better now for LG is that they haven't lost 2 bodies. They've been able to successfully get off the roam and default all 5 members back to site, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4. There he is. There's Asian. He's in garage. So yeah, defaulting all 5 members back to site without giving up a single kill and still wasting about half the round. That's pretty good so far for this defense. The Solus is coming into peak. Ashen's just holding an angle. Of course, Rice doesn't actually have any active info on where this Twitch is. Ashen's going to fall back, think better of it, decide to go shock droning, seeing if he can clear this utility early on, but this time Eddie's ready for it. Destroys the drone before it can really do anything. Kind of makes me wonder why they didn't take the hatch out before going for it.
Yeah, Eddie wouldn't have been allowed to sit in that prime position there, in that prime real estate. And Luminosity, they're a team that strives off of their defenses. They love their defensive halves. And right now, forcing Arial Rise Academy to go for this 5v5 execute, I think it is the right decision for Luminosity, and there's so much denial on the board, obviously, of those Vulcan canisters that are going to go on through. But it's Uzi, actually, with 2 frags taking down Eddie and Splash. Rice is going to try to get a response, but I don't think it's going to happen. And 30 seconds remain. The shotgun play on the main stairs, no refrag from Luminosity, and Arial Rise Academy all of a sudden up 2 bodies out of nowhere.
Nades coming in, starting to facilitate this plant. Asian will catch Ashen trying to drop the hatch, but there's nothing to deny Spiker. No info. Kickthrow misses with the gas canisters. Rice finally spots it with the Solus, but it's far too late. The planter's not going to be able to get away as Spiker hits the ground, but with Uzi getting a 3K and Rice being stuck in a 1 versus 3 post plant in this position, yeah, he's not coming away with that. And I have no idea what the hell LG were thinking. You have a Solus. You have a C4 and 3 gas canisters. You can play the Solus like a pulse, sit her in gold, and see the case when it's being planted. You have perfect info, and they decided to try and retake top floor when it wasn't necessary instead.
Yeah, a really curious decision to go for that retake. I don't know why the IGL call was, hey, let's go walk up main stairs right into the waiting arms and guns of AAA. I mean, you know that there's going to be someone dedicated to flank watching of all operators who is actually Uzi on the Ayana to do so, but hey, whatever works, right? If Uzi's already done his job, and his job is to sit there and flank watch the flag hallway and that open area door so that they can maintain the house control, then good. Luminosity, they had all of the resources at their disposal. They could have just waited for the execute to come out through, and more than likely had the better positions for that plant, especially with the Solus, knowing exactly where that diffuser was going to go down. That's why a lot of teams in at least in previous seasons of Pro League, and even now, you'll see a Pulse actually playing in Vault, calling where that diffuser is going down. Now you have an even better operator for that, like Solus, who sees exactly where that case is going down. You can't be tricked by any body standing still, and you can call that from a healthy distance away and guide your teammates where to go. That's why Rice is playing this operator.
Yeah, and there was only like 30 seconds left too. I don't know why they call this to storm up main, but they're not going to play lockers anymore. They tried it twice in a row. They failed, and thank God they're going to switch. Open area is the play for the defense now. Ashen driving one of his drones into the site, seeing that for the most part, kitchen itself is clear, and they're going to act off of it. Ashen jumps through the copy window. They're searching for this Maestro, but Rice able to land the frag. Neo's got to back out. The initial gamut from Arial ACAD will go unsuccessfully, and they'll be forced to reconsider their options now with a man down.
They put him in check, but it was checkmate for Arial Rise ACAD as they jump out of the window, terrified of that LMG of Asian waiting for them in open arms within the open area, or at least that box window. But Arial Rise, at least they didn't lose too many bodies, but the one thing is, I feel like if you're going to go for a rush, you got to go for broke, and you got to make sure everyone's going for it. And Eddie's going to be able to get a free pick there. And lacking one member on your attack already after going for that, balls to the walls play, now you're already down a man, down utility, down drones and information. And they're going to struggle throughout the rest of this attack trying to gain any more control throughout the map.
Ambi was hunting the Solus down, but unfortunately came up the stairs too late. Now he'll drop into E2, searching for a body. Someone's down main stairs. One is in tellers, but no one for Ambi to find, at least not yet. Eddie gets away, but Spiker, I think, just hit a one-tap onto Rice. Now that he's got this open castle barricade, he's kind of stuck Asian in this corner here, so they've isolated the Maestro. They're looking for him through the hatch, and he might back up into the line of sight of Neo. And that's a great pick from Spiker. Killing Kickster off site, tying the man count now with a whole minute left. And Asian pushing out. He will get the drop on Spiker. and be able to successfully rotate back. That is what LG needed, and that might end up winning them the round and stop it from spiraling out of control. Ambi taking a 2 versus 1 there, worried about too many angles. There's Neo in a 1v3.
The newest member of AAA to go ahead and try to make this clutch happen. We've seen it before. We've seen Neo hit some incredible shots and definitely make some incredible clutches on the more hard support role, but now almost playing a flex entry on the Jackal. Maybe a better gun in hand, but not a lot of utility and not much information really. And he'll get swung from electrical, doesn't even know where it's actually happening. And Asian with the LMG just going to be able to pre-fire Neo, bring him down. And AAA, after trying to hit the bomb site, recalling the troops, losing a body, it just flubbed their attack.
Yeah, I really like the call from AAA there. Ashen just kind of needed to win his fight. I wonder if maybe they spent a little more time droning exactly where the anchor was, rather than seeing that no one was holding the window. It may have paid dividends in the end. But LG adapted really well. Asian was on top of his stuff, got the first kill onto Ashen, forced the attack out. It wasted a ton of time. And Asian later pushed back into square to get his teammates refrag, and from there the round was pretty much over. Arial ACAD now have to attack lockers for the 3rd time. They are flawless so far assaulting this site. Ambi, I was about to get excited because I thought he was going to stick the blitz, but no, instead, we've got the same 5 they've been running for the site, only instead of a Twitch, Ashen now has the Flores, and I have to say, I kind of agree with the pick, considering how he had to use both his shock drones to try and get those Goyas, whereas now with Flores, you know, it becomes indestructible. So you can probably deal with that utility a lot sooner.
I'm shocked that Luminosity are choosing to go basement yet again. Hopefully they'll make the adaptations that they need to actually be successful here.
Dude,
on a roam.
The Flores is going to destroy this blue clear.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I just don't know if these are the right operators to be bringing. I don't think that having Kixer on the Capcan is going to be something that is going to change the way that Aerial Rise goes through the round. I mean, if you get lucky and end up hitting someone with a Capcan trap, there you go. There's a little bit of damage done for you for free, but like, that's not really changing the round. You need these round-changing operators, someone to be annoying, waste more time. Maybe bring a Mozzie, a Vigil, something that's going to waste the time and information from AAA, and right now, Luminosity just failing to do so.
Spot out Kixro, and luckily he's got an escape hatch, literally, right at his feet, just in case he starts to feel a little bit too much heat. They've also got eyes on Rice here, trying to come up and support. He'll be dealt some damage and quickly fall off back to the site, but hey, taking some damage in return for everyone back on the bomb site, I would take that if I'm the defense. Now the attack, knowing they have both top floors clear, they can work and start to work these hatches, and pretty soon they'll be aware of Eddie here in top blue. Ashen already going to send a drone out, and I don't imagine Eddie's hold here is going to last much longer, especially because the shield is so close to the doorway. But wow, he does shoot the drone. Incredible reaction time there from Eddie, but luckily for Ashen, he's still got 3 more where that came from. He'll jump it in. Actually, what?
Wait, where'd it go?
Huh?
Wait, what? Where'd it go?
Wait, oh my god, it was a distraction!
Behind? What? Wow. Incredible play there by Arial Acad to just get through there, get behind Eddie, dealing with the top blue clear. Not even how we thought with the Rotero drone, not just blowing up the utility and going and swinging the smoke. No, instead they just drop Neo down the hatch while the Rotero drone goes on through, make a distraction, and a beautiful play by Arial Rise ACAD as they've gotten the server control that they were so longed for, but they got to deal with more of these Luminosity anchors, especially Asian, who's got this long angle and garage and could potentially deny the plant if they go for that default behind the server, behind that table.
What's dangerous here for Arial ACAD is they've lost Ambi. Now, the smokes aren't as big of a deal because the Warden has come into play from Asian, and big bit of counterplay from LG, considering how much AAA have been using the smokes, but those fire arrows no longer going to force people out of red. Instead, Spiker's just in the middle of the site. The C4 gets stuck. Asian doesn't have an angle. Spiker's going to get it down, but no, the C4 just at the last minute is going to deny, and all the kills coming through for LG. Arial Academy unable to scramble and pick up the pieces, gives LG the tying round.
Finally a round for LG to be able to hold on to the basement, and they just made Arial a CAD execute, and they sat there, they played their positions, they didn't go for any crazy retakes, and they were rewarded with a good round. I'm kind of shocked that not really roam work. They didn't really do much of a roam, if any at all. They just had a player on like marble stairs and in the second elevator, but that was it. They had Eddie on blue playing his life. He lost it a little bit earlier than expected, but those Royal Volcan canisters and Eddie wasting just enough time really worked out in favor of LG. And now going on to CEO, tertiary bomb site here for LG. This is a site where I'm concerned for them, especially if AAA are going to bring out that blitz that we had seen Ambi highlight earlier. I don't think so. I don't think he will.
It doesn't look like he's going to be bringing it. No Osa as well for Arial. They are bringing Ace.
No Solus, which is
Ambi
weird.
I wonder who they're gonna send on the long angle outside the main windows. Whether it's going to be Ambi or Spiker.
My guess would be Ambi, with Spiker having the diffuser. More than likely, I'll Spiker go ahead and hit with the teammates, and you'll have Ambi somewhere running around. Probably on Kanto.
A back push then. Probably a top square push.
That's what it looks like. They're all back there. Seems about that way.
They do have a lot of util to deal with Asian, but that's a. Did he just try to hop through the window?
He did.
I think he did.
Man, he did not get very far. So, Arial Rise ACAD, so far getting shut down now on their initial entries. Luminosity doing a much better job of slowing down the young gunners, and some of their friends. I mean, these players know each other very well, and that's one of the things that you can take away is you know each other's tendencies. You can go and counterplay each other, and that's what you see right there with, I believe it was Kixrow, who just waited for Ash to go and hop in the open window. But they got to deal with Eddie here in stock. You can see his feet. Neo. No. Oh, I mean,
Neo's he's waiting for a better angle.
Oh, the Karios pellets.
Oh, no.
Oh, Asian won it. No way. Why did... I don't know why he impacted the Kiba there, but...
Yeah, that was a little bit odd. But
still, it doesn't matter. That play is just the highlight of the round. Spiker's going to try to hop in and salvage it, but I think Asian's already fallen back inside of the bomb site, if not at least a little bit deeper. So really, Luminosity should have an easy peasy round as long as they just hold their angles and wait for Arial Rise to walk into them.
Yeah, unfortunate misplay from Neo there. Spiker gonna get one, but quickly refragged by Asian, who you had mentioned has already backed off. Ambi now left in a 1 versus 3. He spots the Jaeger, sorry, not the Jaeger, the castle for a second, as Rice sends a couple shots into the chest of the Ace. Ambi just kind of fishing for kills, waiting to see if the defense is gonna give him an opportunity. But for now, LG are staying fairly static. Gets one side of the janitor wall open. So that kind of removes the ability of the castle to play in there, but you still got to worry about a couple long angles that they can still hold into Janitor. Eddie looks like the first fight that Ambi's going to be able to take, but nope, never mind. Not even a fight. Just a wallbang from Eddie to do the round in, and that gives LG the first lead that they've had in this map.
LG, they've recovered so far on their defenses, which is typically their better side, their stronger side, for sure, across any map. But you're on bank, usually kind of more attacker favored. Is something that we'll typically see be the strong suit. It's definitely difficult to hold this map with how many different avenues and entry there are into the bomb site. But back to staff room open area, I do think that Arial Rise ACAD, they need to either decide, are they going to try to hit the site fast? They could try to get away with it again, especially with Asian now not being on the Maestro, rather being on the Wamai. There may be less of a site presence here for Luminosity, but again, Arial Rise ACAD, they got to be smart with their decision making, and if they want to hit the site fast, if they want to go slow, what they want to do.
It's kind of the paradox of the conventional thing is, oh, we went for a rush. Now the defense are going to be expecting it, and the defense think to themselves, oh, the attack probably thinks we're going to expect it, so we're just going to play like normal and have them clear into us. It's like that kind of back and forth paradoxical mind game that you kind of have to play with each other. It looks like with a 0 now coming out from Ashen, I don't think they're going to be going for it again, especially with Buck in play. Looks like it's going to be full top down. You got the flank watch from that 0. Spiker's going to be working the vert as Buck, obviously. You got Neo to help hunt down those roamers. Everyone's spawning over towards the square side, of course, because that's typically where the clears start. Praying that the stock clear goes a little bit better than just having Neo staring at the wrong angle.
Hopefully they'll be able to do something about that. I assume that Asian will be tasked with holding down that position yet again. I think that's exactly what we see there in the stock hallway. You've also got Eddie upstairs on the roam assisting, and Rice as well. So plenty of players to deal with here for AAA as they make their way in a top square, but now it's time to deal with that deadly roam that Luminosity have been bringing out. AAA with no answer so far, but Asian with the swing there yet again. Neo being dropped here. The Jackal no longer in play, so you're not going to be able to get any more of those footprints around, and you might not have full information on where these roamers are. Ambi, though, with a response on Eddie, so that's a good pick, bringing down the Azami. No more of those Kiba barriers, and Rice narrowly escaping with his life.
The first 2 rounds going Arial ACAD's way, they had the opening pick. The 3 that LG have won now in a row, it's been them getting the first frag of the round. Now with that lead off onto Neo, see if LG can make it 4 in a row and keep the trend going. Splash, the next to take a bit of damage as he's tucked inside Tellers. Ashen knows exactly where he's at. He probably also knows that Splash can't really escape. He is, however, stuck behind a filing cabinet, and it is a bit of hard cover that he can play behind. Maybe trying to bait Ashen in, but he'll finally make his presence known. And Rice has an open rotate by the elevator. He sneaks in, catches Ashen on the main stairs, and gets a very important man equalizer that also cuts down Zero before a majority of those SAM cams have been sent out. It makes me a little bit worried because we know how much LG love to flank.
Yeah, you can see that play just happening. It's starting to make itself occur, and Rice able to get that swing, try to help his teammate of Splash, who ended up dying, unfortunately, but still able to get that refrag traded out and force a 3v3 execute here. More than likely putting Luminosity in favor, especially with having a long gun and a gun that does a lot of damage in the Frost. But no, as I say so, Kixro is going to go down. 20 seconds left. The execute has to come through. Oh, Rice with a good shot on Uzi brings him down. Asian able to drop Spiker, who drops down the hatch, and Ambi now left in a 1v2, yet to clutch once again, this time on the Ash. It's time for him to step up for his team. We'll try to flick around left and right, see if he can land any of those bullets, but I don't think it's going to have 5 seconds left. Asian with the response, and Luminosity Gaming, after going down 2 rounds off the bat, take 4 in a row.
Wow, that hatch drop was not the play. Looked like they had info on the castle, but didn't know where Asian was still sitting. That play from the Iana, fantastic. But they had, if they were going for the hatch drop, it needed to be while Rice was fighting the Iana, and Ambi needed to also be making a stand somewhere, either small office or the double door. The fact that Arial ACAD went in all at 3 separate times pretty much gifted LG the 1v1s and subsequently the round. 4 opening picks, 4 rounds in a row for LG. So far, the trend holds true. And Arial ACAD likely want a couple of those attacks back. They started off strong, but they now trail, and the momentum is squarely in LG's favor.
Most definitely. Arial ACAD being able to run around here on defense now. They're going to abuse some of these new operators. Also, no Jaeger on the board. No info ops, really, or util denial ops, rather. They've got the castle to help them cut off some of the rotations that could be made by the attack, but also help them be a little bit more fortified on their defense. But you really have this information and long roam game being played out by Uzi, and with the help of Ashen, more than likely commending him with those yokai drones and being able to help that roam really be fluid and efficient, but also to deny any sort of rush plant that could be attempted by LG.
The yokais are actually being used to assist the roam, interestingly enough. Ambi playing upstairs. Ooh, the attack is trying to find it. I think they hear it. He spots one outside. I think that's Kixer.
When Ashen's up here, that's weird. I'm shocked that the Echo is like upstairs.
Yeah,
being active.
Not only is
he's wasting time.
Not only is he using the drones to assist the roam, but he is also part of the roam. So it's definitely a different way of playing Echo instead of just sitting back and like vault.
I like it though, because you can drone yourself through, and you kind of get that essence of being a solo player, but
Yeah.
you're still helping your team. It just sucks that like you're a 3
He's
armor.
also fast. No, he's faster now.
Oh, is he a 2 armor?
Echo's a 2 armor now. Yeah,
That's
they changed him.
Right. I forget about that change. The Echo's the one that like slips through my mind when it comes to a change. But I think he is a viable, like, not necessarily roamer, right? Because you always see Echo as this sit on site type of player, but still being able to roam around is Rice and the rest of Luminosity trying to get rid of the rest of this roam, finally able to do so. So the roam going well for Arial ACAD, but also able to bring down Asian, which is a huge part for LG.
And you saw him when he died, instantly type wow. Like, so that must and complimented Ambi. So that must have been an insane shot that Ambi hit. We all know how capable he is of those. Arial ACAD now with the all-important opening pick, which has seemingly decided every round we've played thus far. Hard Breach Charge goes out to open up the long angle as Rice works to open default plant spot. Hatch control in the favor of LG. Nade starting to go down to burn away utility, I would have to imagine as well. Spiker with the smoke angle, protected by the shield, just ready and waiting for a plant attempt to begin. And there is so much time delay thanks to him and Ashen, who has retreated back to the site. Fire arrows beginning to go out, but the smoke and his smoke babes are there. A nade from Eddie completely stops any chance for the toxic gas canisters to continue. Spiker dying this early is a heaven sent for LG. Plant beginning now from Rice. Yokai's maybe still up from Ashen, but no longer in use as he dies. Ambi with one refrag. The Oryx coming in to assist, kills the planter. Gone 6 out for Splash in desperation as he dies on the hatch, leaving Kickstar in a 1 versus 3. Do they know where he is? They think he's still by server, but instead he's on the hatch. The shots reveal his location. He can't connect them with the feet of Uzi and Ambi with 4 kills as the castle. Arial ACAD able to claw away round 7.
Causing hell on that post plan. I mean, as soon as it went down by Rice, you saw Arial Rise ACAD just storm the building. Just storm the bomb site. They knew where the diffuser went down. They had that information gratuitously due to the Solus, Neo, bringing out the goggles and being able to see exactly where that diffuser went down, understanding some of the positionings here by Luminosity, and just flooding inside of CCTV and just making it hell. The Oryx Ramadash really being a problem. You even heard the panic from Luminosity with the flipping God 6.
He just walked into sight, like not a care in the world,
Like
and
no,
killed Rice getting off the
nothing.
case.
And then the God 6 out of the hatch, like it was unreal. Right?
I don't
Like
blame
you
him.
could hear the panic.
he was just trying to make something happen at that point.
Oh, it was crazy. I cannot believe they got away with that, but Luminosity just missing their shots, really.
Dude,
That's what it came down to.
Especially they killed the smoke and the echo off the bat.
10 seconds.
There was nothing Arial could do to deny the plant. And then they were just like, well,
5 seconds.
I
just
guess
walk.
we gotta walk in. and they won their fight.
Located by
Like,
attackers.
Yeah, and it just came down to poor play from the hatch too. Like you can lose a fight to someone on the hatch if they hit the better shot. And Arial Rise ACAD, like they're definitely one of those teams that can hit the better shot. But damn, is it tough to not even get one of those kills from the hatch.
uh-oh. Nah, Ashen is in prime repel kill range, but he finally gets droned, so Eddie, as you can see, Eddie immediately lower himself on the repel,
Said nope.
not wanting to die to the Solus. He's also got to worry about runouts. Well, the castle barricade is there, so Ash has got to do something. He sees the player on drone. Doesn't look like anyone's going to act off of it just yet. He spots the drone going down that banana hallway. LG already losing 2. Now about to lose a 3rd. So Ashen doing his job, able to get away. Hopping on the BP, spotting Splash, working his way into lobby. Now Splash has to worry about the Teller's player and up above. This is a dangerous spot for the Zo to be in.
This is definitely not a fun one
There
to
are
be
3
dealing with,
drones
but
left.
that's the power of Solus. I mean, exactly. Like, there's 3 drones left. All of those Flores drones have been destroyed. Uzi able to bring down Asian all on the Flores, so the top fragger for LG off the board now, and things not looking good for LG as the fight is being brought to them.
there's
I mean,
3
the
of
troops
them.
are just running at him in the lobby. I mean, everyone is just going and Kicksrow has nothing to be able to do. He gets one and bring down Ambi. Sure, the refrag comes through, but you've lost 2 of your players already. Your Flores being one of your top frags of Asian, and also Splash, who's 1-6 currently on the Zofia, but you still miss some of that utility that can be so important for that late round execute.
That is a huge first couple picks. I love Arial ACAD like playing the isolation game on defense, spotting out, hey, Zoe's alone, get her.
They're really playing attack on defense. They're just like running.
They were pushing back, especially, and I think that's the kind of defense that you need to play against LG until they really figure it out, because they tend to be such an aggressive team on the attack.
Oh, that was so
it's
so
if you
close.
bring the fight to them and play that kind of isolationist style attack on defense, you can really get the drop on LG, because sometimes they're quick in the building and then they get passive while they're still trying to, you know, search for info, search for opportunities and picks, stuff like that. And you say Arial getting just as passive, not really giving any opportunities here up until there. Uzi decides to swing the copy window and give up his life. Spiker, though, holding a 90-degree angle. There is no chance in hell Kicksrow can get through here. Someone else is going to have to pressure some other angle. That's a great pick to get. Rice with one on Ash, and Spiker exposes himself to the window, and Eddie turns on Neo. Wow. Luminosity shut round 8 down, even though it looked like AA had the upper hand.
AA just throwing it away. I mean, and truthfully, they could have just sat there, held their positions. I do think they should have actually gotten more aggressive, continued to bring the fight to LG. Instead, they let LG begin to bring the fight to them, trying to hold on to the bomb site, and it didn't go well. Not well for them at all. Ariel, Rise, ACAT, they strive in those moments where they can go and give the fight to you. And when LG don't, you know, when they don't do that, LG was able to take advantage of that. I mean, they were down so many members, but people are stepping up for LG now and putting them in a better position. Rice and Kicksrow, especially to be named. Splash still having a tough time here so far, at least in this season. We haven't seen too much out of him. But seeing Rice, seeing Kicksrow start to step up for LG, it just makes them an even stronger roster.
Eddie's starting to wake up too. I mean, everyone from LG doing pretty well with the exception of Splash. Meanwhile, AAA, you got Uzi going positive. Ambi is even. Ashen's got 6 kills, but he still died in almost every round, along with Spiker. And as someone who, you know, especially Spiker, who's typically, you know, one of the backline players for AAA, someone you are relying on to survive in that latter half of the round, either as your main planter or main plant denial. AAA need to find some way to either take the fight to LG or find a way to stay up, because as it stands right now, I don't know if they can do both.
Things not on the upside right now for AAA, but they have a chance to turn things around here, hopefully, through this defense, and maybe we'll see something different come on out. But LG kind of setting up for the same similar thing. They're going to have Kicksrow holding this long angle on E3 and just start to choke out these players from AAA, and well, we'll see how it goes. To be honest, I don't know if they're going to be able to do so. AAA, they just need to run around. They need to have fun. They need to go take the fight to these guys. Eddie's nade, though, missing. A little tragic there. It's going to allow just more time waste, more denial. The castle barricade still staying up, so it just makes it even more difficult for LG to enter here.
Although Eddie has wasted his explosives, so did Spiker. Only Nitro Cell went out and failed because he thought the sledge already jumped in. Uzi, in the meantime, gets the first kill onto Asian, and Ambi, left unchecked, creeping up the hallway, catches Eddie off guard. So once again, 2 opening kills for AAA. Last round was the first time this game that the team with the opening pick did not end up winning the round. LG able to clutch out that 3 versus 5. Like you said, the timing not working out in the Capitão's favor. Ambi spotting out the player on Repel, but needing to re-engage that Zofia, loses out to Splash, and LG get a kill back.
Splash can continue to heat up. Luminosity might just come out with this round, but they've still got some more bodies to find here from AAA. They've abandoned their roam and now are falling back to the bomb site where they need to hunker down and wait for the execute. Just hold the crossfires, young men, and wait for this to go on through. Splash to drop down the main stairs. Maybe try to deal with any of those players that could be holding on to that rotation from lower marble. But that's not going to be the case. Ashen has actually positioned himself within that second elevator, and that could be deadly for Luminosity if that position goes unchecked.
I think Neo also just shot either a hard breach charge or a Selma to stop the open area hatch being open. Ashen gets alerted to Splash's position on the lower marble stair, so he knows someone's coming up from the basement and will communicate that to his team. Splash could be a dead man walking, and there's Ashen to finally make his presence known. Neo, another one. Kickstro, a very nice pre-fire onto the site player of Spiker, followed up with a kill onto Uzi to make it a 1 versus 2, but he doesn't have case control, and time is running out. Trying to isolate the 1v1 against Neo as the dog continues backing into the corner, but Kickstro won't take the fight. 2 seconds remaining now, and there's simply no time for him to play with. AAA take the round off of a really good top floor hold.
And a solid job there at the very end of the round, too. Just sticking to their wits and playing the crossfires. Make LG walk in you. That's exactly what they did. They tried to force and execute, and LG just not able to get on through the hot barrels of AAA, finally netting their first defense. Or no, that was their second defensive round win, so my mistake. But getting that win definitely puts them back on track to keep this map close. LG, though, still, I think, in the driver's seat, but we go back to lockers. This is where LG, they should have been away with this round. Really, they should have put this one away. AAA just somehow running through the bomb site were allowed to run free. So hopefully LG, for themselves at least, can make a difference on their attack here.
What I think I would have rather seen from this defense, though, is someone to support Spiker, either a Lamai and a Rooney, or some sort of projectile denial here to place in red, because Spiker was in the perfect position to stop that execute from happening. And of course, you know, AAA did win the retake. There's, of course, tons of merit in that, but Spiker dying was certainly not where AAA wanted to be. He was in the perfect place to stop that execute, but he unfortunately died to a nade, and AAA are still not bringing anything to stop that. They do have the Azami who can, you know, hold up by herself, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. Yeah, I love Uzi being able to tear down the barricade and act off the Solus intel. I mean, dude, 15 seconds down, and LG have lost a couple drones, and now they've lost a body. Impeccable Solus play from Ashen to get his 1 on the lurk. This is what LG were trying to do against OXG and unable to do. And AAA are putting on a clinic with her right now.
Yeah, they're showing exactly how to use and how you can use Solus, right? Just be stupid aggressive, right? Like, you can see players when they're on their drones, which is such a strong feature. You can go for those crazy runouts, especially with the impact grenades. You know, if Ashen couldn't exactly see that player, he could have just impacted that triple lobby ATM door and just ran out. And there was no one there for any sort of refrag, so it's just free kills. And that's what Solus offers, especially in that early round. He's still here in ATM, not dealt with.
Oh, he is daring Eddie to move up on the rappel.
He wants it. He might get it too. Yeah, he's gonna get it.
There's not spotted. There it is. Yeah, did they just forget about him? The Capital's walking around the middle floor like nothing happened. Ashen almost gets the 3rd, but the Para 308 outduels him. At the very least, it's a lot of damage off of Splash. Nice angle play from Neo to cut into Asian's ankles, force the Twitch back upstairs. Rice finally putting one of his exothermic charges down, opens up that red hatch, but there's still a lot of work for LG to do here. And even though Ashen's dead on Solus, Ambi has taken up the mantle of Echo. Spiker's playing that smoke again, the Goyo fire. There's still 1 left. Kiba barrier even on the doorway, just to add insult to injury. So there's tons of utility for LG to try and shoot through.
And there's nothing to be able to do so. They've lost their Ash. They've lost Eddie, who has nades. And so not having those util clear breaches and stuff, sure, Rice is going to be able to open up the server wall. But how much are you really going to be able to get done? I don't think that Luminosity are going to have a chance at even an execute. The Volcan being popped, and now you're going to have 3 gas grenades to go deal with. That Kiba barrier also being very annoying, but Ambi over peaking, maybe overexposing himself, losing their life to Splash, but here's where that denial goes through. Spiker dies now as the smoke has lost their life, and Arial Rise ACAD throwing away their lead, throwing away their advantage. No C4s left on the board, and now it's in favor of Luminosity.
Goyo trying to walk up, down Splash, cuts down the low HP Capital, but now he's being dealt a ton of damage by the Thermite walking in sight. Uzi's looking the wrong way. Now it's just Neo, but there's Asian up top. How do AAA lose that? They started out with such a massive advantage thanks to Ashen playing a perfect solo lurk Solus, and then they peak. Ambi not playing off the drone. Spiker standing up and attempting to rotate instead of focusing on plant denial, and Uzi losing his fight to the thermite. That round just could not have gone worse.
Just out of their rights. I don't know what AAA is doing. They just got pre-fired. They stood up and died to Splash, who just continued to pre-fire these angles that AAA were expected to be peaking. I mean, that's what happens when you're in those 3v5 desperate scenarios. There was nothing to be able to deal with the Kiba barriers. The smoke grenades can be thrown safely. All you need to do is just go prone. You could have been chucking those smokes deeply and not died at all. I mean, these are just simple mistakes being made by AAA right now that Luminosity are taking advantage of and running away.
They have yet to win 2 defenses in a row.
And they need to do it now to tie up the map and go to OT.
Yeah, it's looking really dire. Wow,
Jinx.
that was incredible.
That was a moment. I think we had a moment there. I don't have too many of those with you. I get scary if we like continue to, copy the words we say.
All good. I don't know what the CEO plays. So okay, they're bringing the Doc. They're bringing the Echo. They've got 4 1.5s right now, and then Spiker. And you can see by Ashen, they want to challenge these long angles. They're playing for the fights. I like the castle barricade setup, kind of cleaving the site in half, forcing the attackers into your preset angles. I really hope we find more use of this Echo though, because both times we've seen Echo from AAA, the Echo's kind of died without doing much, and Ambi needs to turn around. Asian's pushing in, and yeah, I guess Ambi didn't figure that the Iana was all the way up the hallway, so really early first kill for LG.
Well, great use by Eddie to use that Dokkaebi ring, and Ambi's phone just going off in his pocket. Too many snaps going on through for him, and ends up losing it. And not good so far for AAA considering their circumstance. They need to send themselves into OT to have any sort of chance of taking this map. And first of all, they've got to get themselves at least within reach of that. And right now, not looking great. They've got this vertical control going underway, and Luminosity continuing to tear away at the feet of Arial Rise ACAD.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Great work being done by Splash to force these anchors to move. Usually they want to fight it. They're really looking for it. But Ashen, the next to die on the Echo. They know exactly where Neo is as well, as he's trying to fight down below, but exposing himself to the windows. Smoke goes out. Neo's going to get healed up. Luckily, he is Warden, so he can see through those smokes, and Splash gets killed by Spiker. So long last, there's a couple kills for AAA. Neo ripping one off the rappel, now challenging the Osa.
No way.
And Rice stands up into it. Now it's LG's turn to throw away the man advantage. Eddie pushing the back, dies to Uzi, covering. Spiker lands a second. And AAA turn the tides of round 11. 1 round away now from either ending the map or going to OT.
What the hell is happening, Harrison?
It's a frag fest. It's scrappy.
LG should not have gotten away with their most previous round. Arial Rise ACAD should not have gotten away with that most previous round. And now Arial Rise ACAD within reach, potentially able to reach overtime as the timeout is taken by potentially AAA. As they're looking to send themselves an OT. I mean, might as well use the timeout. See what you can do. See if you can get yourself into an OT on LG's map pick, and then send yourself into Chalet on your own map pick with an advantage. That's definitely the play to make. But these teams just throwing away these advantages yet and yet again. It spells concerns going on. Maybe not throughout the rest of this match if both teams are kind of evenly doing so, but if we go into playoffs, whichever team promotes out of this, and they still make these mistakes and have these issues, they're not going to be successful against teams that don't make mistakes, like Oxygen, like Parabellum has been, at least as of late, not making those crazy mistakes.
Yeah, or like reality TV, like S2, who have been fantastic in doling out punishments to even the smallest mistakes that their opponents have fed them. So it's difficult to say how the success of these rosters will go continuing into playoffs, but we just worry about this immediate map. And there's a timeout call. A timeout call from, I believe, AAA. I definitely don't disagree with it. You're 1 round away from taking it to overtime. Sure, you won the last round, but you threw away the man advantage before that, and you didn't have a great start to that CEO defense either. And typically, you want to win, and you usually win the round after your timeout. I think it's perfectly timed here for Arial, and I like that they're going back to archives because their top hold here was phenomenal.
Yeah, they did a really good roam on the top floor, and if I remember correctly, that's where they were super aggressive within lobby and just like doing these crazy swings, trying to isolate these players. I think that they're going to try to do that again, where they just go take the fight to Luminosity, and I think that's the right play to make. Hopefully they've been spilt some good words and good knowledge here in that timeout, and they'll be able to come away with this round, sending themselves into overtime. But on the contrary, it's also been given the opportunity for LG to get some of that wise wisdom from their own coach and potentially have some other info there.
LG are bringing both the sledge and the buck this time, just in case Eddie dies. They've got that redundancy. I like that. Plus, they're bringing the buck on someone who has survived almost 50% of the rounds played. That's Asian. He's been doing a phenomenal job so far this map. I mean, Asian has definitely been the highlight player across both teams. He's brought LG from the brink several times. A lot of those clutched rounds have been off of his efforts. The Capitao pick is an interesting one from Rice. I don't know how they're going to play with that for this top hold. Splash does get a fantastic first pick onto Ashen, but he just dropped down to the ground. Rice has made his way in, looking maybe for an opportunity to res, but Spiker will remove that from the board, finishing the down player off with the C4.
Costing that life, but it's a waste of util, at least forcing that C4 to be used for that confirmed kill. So sure, you're able to confirm that kill. Eddie, though, able to catch off Ambi off guard, faking the nade pull in the swing. Rice barely not getting that kill there on the Uzi as he's able to escape with his life. So you still have the Warden for that post play and execute potentially if those Capitao smoke nades are used, and Uzi needs to stay alive here, especially with all this vertical play being made. If he stays alive, he will be the ultimatum in this scenario. But now it's time for LG to really shine in this floor verticality, in this destruction. You're gonna have Asian,
Nice.
You're gonna have Eddie, both working so much of this vertical control, and with that C4 exploding, not finding a frag, AAA in the backseat.
Great bait from Eddie. The way he was playing around that, probably heard the C4 through some of those floor holes and played it perfectly. Uzi has come off of the site, placed an elevator now, gets the pick onto Rice, knocks down the Capitao. Moving a lot of good execute utility from the attack. His position is known in elevator, but there's also a bulletproof staring at this ace in lobby. Nade goes out to cover the retreat of Eddie as he decides to go back upstairs. The ace working his way behind the teller's desk as Spiker gets shot in the back. Eddie, the next kill. In comes the Warden, but he's dusted. Eddie, 3 kills on the round, and LG winning their map pick, 7-5.
Clean it up. They're just not able to find the fights that they wanted on the top floor, and them being Arial, Rise, ACAT, and LG. Cleaning things out. Eddie finally heating up at the end of the map. Kind of a quiet map for someone who's usually so prevalent on the entry, but Asian really shining out there on that map. LG barely taking it, but just taking it enough to be able to bring down Arial, ACAT on their own map pick. And now we'll head to Chalet to see if they fare off better.
I did like how LG adjusted after the kill onto Uzi, or after Uzi got his kill in elevator. It didn't look like anyone from the defense was actually in tellers. Everyone was either archives, right? There was one archives, one elevator, and one kind of like open area small, I'm pretty sure. LG must have had info on that because the walk up from the ace combined with Asian hitting the back was perfectly timed. Knowing that Uzi was offsite, knowing someone was open, they decided they were just going to take the man count advantage onto the site itself. Those last 2 players were forced to retake. Neo walked right into the bullets of Eddie, and then Eddie, of course, finding the second, as unfortunately for the defense, the trade potential had to come from the exact same angle that Eddie was already staring at. So a huge first map for LG. Definitely got a little close, but their attacks, they're actually not even just their attacks. Their streak on the defense carried them through the map because Arial looked really good on those first 2 attacks. And the four in a row from LG, and then the fact that they were able to trade rounds back and forth, right? If you're already in an advantage like that, there's no way you're going to lose the map.
Yeah, that momentum definitely helped them out. It was extremely important for LG to be able to go on through and take those rounds. 4 rounds in a row being so important, especially for LG, who strives on their defense. Their attacks, they struggle on here and there. You could see some of those struggles really come out there against Arial ACAD. But Arial Rise ACAD, they also had some struggles on their own on their defensive half and on their attacking half, struggling against that roam that LG was bringing out. LG struggling on their attack against some of the aggression being brought by Arial Rise ACAD. So these teams both know what they need to work on going on into Chalet, but that'll be map number 2. We'll get back to that soon. We'll take a little break. We'll be back shortly.
Pollard's on a double though, and he finds the third to the smoke. Just enough. Getting it to 3K with enough. With 3 seconds left, Final lands the pre-fire. Nobody can kill him in time. And he clutches it out. What a play from the alibi as the lobby player goes unchecked.
Welcome back. If you missed map number 1 between AAA and LG, it was a hotly contested, very scrappy 7-5 win for LG on their own map pick. Both teams definitely having issues on both sides, but the 4-in-a-row streak to cap off LG's defensive half really carried them through the back and forth contest in the second.
Yeah, bloody black and back and forth rounds. Rather, between these two teams, showing a lot of aggression was Arial Rise ACAD, but LG able to match some of that. Pull back some of the rounds where they maybe had the man disadvantage off the bat, but Arial Rise ACAD over peaking and throwing away some of those advantages and potentially throwing away that map. They very easily could have came away and came out of this map, but same thing with LG. They had some moments where they just threw away some of the advantages. When it came to the defensive side of things, it really came off of who had the opening pick and you were winning that round. Opening pick was so important for this match, and LG just barely edging out AAA in that favor and in that factor, able to come away with things.
Yeah, in fact, I think there were only 2 rounds in which the opening pick, or the team with the opening pick, did not end up winning the round. Or sorry, 3. 2 of them were LG wins. Now, if we take a look at the stats, Asian, absolutely our highlight player, 15-6, popping off, surviving almost every round that LG were able to win. He was relatively even on the entry, but still, even when he was going down, most of the time he was being traded out. And I mean, at worst, you have a -3. Everyone on LG was contributing. Splash even started like what, like 1-5 or 1-6, and then ended 6-9. He started having a hot streak come that attacking half. Meanwhile, on AAA, Uzi was doing his best. I mean, Uzi was 4-0 on entry, with I think 2 of them on the attack, 2 of them on the defense, but no one was really there with him. It felt like a lot of AAA's trade game was not there this map, something that they're known for, and they were simply just not hitting their shots as much as LG were.
I think Spiker, one of those players to highlight for AAA success, not there really at all on Bank. He really struggled to find his footing, and having a player like Spiker not perform, one of those top rated players. We did the player comparison with Spiker and Eddie earlier on in the broadcast, and for him to not be there, especially in almost a revenge game, you could call it, for Spiker, kind of his story, his revenge arc against LG, you're seeing that maybe getting to his head a little bit. Hopefully he's able to come out of that, and here on Chalet he could really formulate and shine. But we haven't seen a lot of AAA on Bank, so seeing them here on Chalet, we definitely know that it's a map that they enjoy, and I think they'll have a better chance here at faring off.
Yeah, LG in recent times haven't played Chalet terribly often. In fact, I think they only had 1. No, they had 0 plays of it during Stage 3. They didn't play it at all. And then come the playoffs up against Arial Rise, they didn't play it there either. So, I remember this used to be a good map for them. I don't know if maybe it's just fallen out of their map pool, or whether they're hiding it or something. But either way, I do like AAA's chances here. There's a much smaller map too. I don't think Solus is gonna be left up.
Doubt it.
LG
Especially
will probably be the ones to ban it after.
Yeah.
What's his name? After
Especially,
Fox A just kind of rolled them on.
yeah.
So
The
wait,
PTSD
look at the bottom of your
through.
screen. See is that a drone?
Oh, that is. Wait, yeah.
Bro, Fermi's got to step up his B-reel game. Come on, you can't be leaving a drone in the B-reel.
Drone in the spawn.
I just realized that. That was crazy.
That's hilarious. That's like one of those just random dumb things that you notice.
Yeah.
It's such a dumb random thing. But Arial ACAD, everyone thinks that they're gonna take Chalet. So, which I wouldn't be surprised. I do think that this is a map that suits Arial ACAD much more, especially with those fast flooded engagements and trying to be stupid aggressive. So maybe we'll see that be the case. Ying to fall off the board. I mean, shocker, right? We see that almost all of the time, especially against LG now with how prevalent their takes are. But Twitch. Okay.
I mean,
hey,
Arial were rocking it nearly every round on Bank, whether it was Ashen or I think Neo playing him sometimes, or playing her sometimes rather. Wow. Okay, and then a zombie smoke. So, okay, so a little tidbit about last map too. Mira was left up. We did not see her played
at all.
We're not going to see her played in the first round here. Solus has been left up by LG. So maybe they're not afraid of it. Maybe they figured they've learned their lesson from Fox. They've went to the school of Fox A to learn how to play that operator. I did also like how differently the operators are played, right? Because we were highlighting OXG, how well they were playing it. Fox was in a central location at all times, kind of helping the team. Whereas on Bank, we saw Ashen using the Solus as a very solo lurk op and finding a lot of success with it. And I think that just comes down to the different way the maps are played and the size difference. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a more team-based Solus here on Chalet, especially with Spiker playing her, considering Spiker, you know, is one of those main IGLs. But that's smoke, man. That's an interesting one.
It's going to be difficult for LG to try to hold on to the site when Arial ACAD goes for executes, when they come to attack, once they get to that point. But LG choosing to start out on attack here on Arial ACAD's map pick. Not a surprise. I do think that it's probably the right choice to make, especially with how these bans have gone out. Obviously, a zombie being off the board. I don't think Twitch really is going to affect LG in any capacity. But some of the defensive operators that have been left up are definitely going to make an impact against LG. Valkyrie on the board. Someone that you almost never see, especially on a map like Chalet. But with a smoke ban and a zombie ban, a zombie being more prevalent, but smoke almost never. Actually allowing for those operators to go through the ban phase. It's going to make things different. A different Chalet, almost.
Yeah. And I really like the IQ pick coming out immediately from
It's
Eddie.
needed.
I mean,
It's
yeah, with a
necessary.
Valkyrie and a Solus here, IQ is going to be one of your best operators. You know, there's a lot of people who are in the camp of, oh, IQ needs a buff. You need to make her more useful. It's not that she's not useful. It's just that she has a very certain niche, and this happens to be said niche.
Oh,
and
she got
Eddie,
it.
spotting Ashen on the cams below, is gonna get a freebie with IQ's utility. Luckily, Asian was already dead, so at the very least, it's a one-for-one trade.
Trade to go through, but that's what happens when you get on default cams. It wasn't even the Solus. It was actually Ashen who was hanging out inside of Kitchen to lose their life. Spiker, the response and a refrag after a trade comes through yet again between those two teams, going tit for tat against each other. Ambi just toasting Eddie there on the suitcase angle outside of the balcony. But here comes the push up through the blue hallway. Neo still trying to hold on to library, seeing if he's gone undetected. Potentially is the
Neo.
case. He'll miss some shots, but able to win it out finally at a Rice.
What?
Wait, what? Kick throw! Just kill him! No way!
Bro, how did we go from like every kill him around being spectacular shots to those last two? All right, well, I guess we
don't
can
talk to me
digest
right
this
now.
from the beginning. AAA pretty much just had a really good library hold. Like, they were just hitting their shots on library. Eddie had a really good kill onto the Valkyrie to remove some C4 presence, but Uzi and Ambi were just kind of running amok on top library, hitting their shots, like I said, and giving their team the man count. Neo, and then Neo getting those last two, you know, really living up to his namesake, dodging Rice and kind of juking him like back and forth around that post, and then the unfortunate fat finger from Kixrow. But you know, let's leave that round behind us. 1-0 AAA. They'll work their way down to Garage. No Valkyrie this time, despite how important the roam is on this site.
Yeah, it's a curious decision, but maybe Arial ACAD just sticking to their roots of, okay, let's play our wall denial, right? We've got the Kaid, we've got the mute, but no Jaeger, so you would expect almost more drones, or more of a roam to be played out. It almost has to be done so by Arial ACAD, because LG, they're going to be able to clear this utility brought out as Ashen goes to impact a drone. That is just toxic. Like, that is just unnecessary.
He wants that 10 points.
That 10 points is worth that
also
impact grenade.
didn't
And he
get
missed. And he missed. That's, yeah, I was going to say that he, like, it would have been okay. I might have been more accepting of it. I still think it's a little weird to go ahead and do that, but, you know, you do you.
Yeah.
You do you.
I like the, oh, okay. They know he's K-tricking, though, so there's a couple ways that the attack can play this. Oh! Does the EMP grab the Cade Claw upstairs?
100%, yeah.
It does. Okay. I was just
Yeah,
making
it's
sure.
just large enough.
Yeah, there was really no way that he was going to be able to Cade trick, unfortunately, thanks to just the EMP radius.
Yeah. Built
That's
like
why
that.
that's why Cade's not great with a Thatcher up.
Nope. Cade is not the play. That's where you have to run, I guess, some sort of bandit trick-esque play, but even then it's difficult, especially without wall denial or anything of the sort. Asian gonna do a little bit of damage to Ashen, and a lot of the aerial players already taking a healthy amount of damage early on in this round, trying to get these fast, early paced engagements. They have gotten one body for it. They've traded out the Lion for their HP, so arguably worth, but still, they're in, the lower half of that HP department, and it's really going to come down to, can LG just finish him off?
I would actually argue that it's they've taken an unhealthy amount of damage considering they're closer to death.
Well, it does hurt.
It does.
No amount of
Holy
damage is healthy.
crap.
Oh my god, Kickstro.
Ashen, bro. Kickstro had the Soldier 76 goggles on.
It was after that library play where he fat fingered. He felt like he needed to just cause revenge,
Yeah,
and I
I mean,
think he
he
got
did.
his revenge. I think
Someone else is coming
it.
upstairs too, and Uzi is just gonna die trying to save Ambi. I
Every
don't know if I
single
would have
player
gone
that
for
was
that.
hurt is
Dude,
dead.
especially because he's got the hatch open. He can just get res downstairs. I don't. Weird play there from Uzi, but Ambi at the very least will get resed. He is low HP. It seems like they know about Neo here on blue. You see the trepidation here. That is a great kill from Spiker, catching Eddie with the nade in his hands and evening the man count here. Flash grenade goes out. Neo now dead on blue. Plant going down. Spiker with no C4, exposed to breach, but still takes out Kickstro. Forces Rice off the plant. Rice gets the trade in a 1 versus 2. Ambi able to get 1, nearly the second. Asian low on HP too, but Ambi even lower. Around the corner comes the Ash, hitting the prone. Ambi's out of ammo! He forgot to reload the Bailiff after the prep in the beginning of the round. And he'll pay the price. So close to winning it.
Oh, Ariel Rising. They wish they could have that round back. It was nearly theirs. Spiker on the TCSG on the Cade, just going huge. Maybe didn't bring it to Cade Trick. Maybe it just brought it to just go nuts with the TCSG. I mean, it was hitting the shots for sure. The flick on the kicks row on the breach, incredible. And then it just barely losing it out. It set up Ambi in just such a perfect way to be able to clutch that round up, but barely. And just by a matter of a reload being the difference there in that round. More than likely, it's possible that the final player would have been able to live through the Bailiff shots because of how inconsistent the bullets, I feel like, when it comes out of the Bailiff, whenever you take a fight with it. Sometimes it feels like you're getting slapped by like a wet pool noodle, but other times, like, it'll hit.
Yeah,
So
I feel like Asian, not only Asian being a 3-speed on Ash, I think he was close enough and low HP enough to where the Bailiff might have put him down.
it. Yeah.
That's so
Wow.
sad for Ambi.
Oh, you know he wants that one back.
Oh,
He's
really
gonna be
does.
hearing it later from Asian too, I'm sure.
Dude, he's gonna make damn sure he reloads the super shorty after he's done prepping. There it is.
He's gonna pull it out like 3 times and check.
Dude, Spiker knows there's a drone here. Is he just gonna? What's his?
No
what's his
way.
plan?
Wait, is he? Wait.
Oh,
the
they know he's
counter
there too.
Oh, they're gonna bait it. Oh no, they're not. Reading into each other's plays exactly. That's the cool thing. That's like the cool interaction you always see between like an IQ and a Pulse. Now you see that with IQ and Solus. And so many other operators with IQ being brought out now.
Ooh.
Where you see people go and check those cameras and stuff. It's awesome to see someone like Eddie be able to take advantage of stuff like that.
They almost had the cutoff too. Kickstart was at the main door. I think maybe he just got there a little too late. Spiker also able to return some damage, but he's back on site, safe and sound.
Do it, Neo.
Taking
Do
an
it, Neo.
aggressive angle, jumping out, catching Asian. Took maybe a few more bullets than he would have liked,
Ashen
but he
got
gets
one
the kill.
too?
Ashen a follow-up onto Splash, and oh, the castle of Ambi swinging piano window. 3 kills in a row for AAA on this top floor hold as they get uber aggressive, cutting down LG before the attack even has a chance to respond.
This is what they need to do whenever they're defending against LG. Just be stupid aggressive. Go take the fights. Go do that. Because Ariel Rise ACAD, you're going to be very successful against a team like LG if you can just stutter their attacks. And LG are a team that prime off of their defenses, but if you can really hit them hard on your defensive half, then you're going to be set.
What is Spiker looking at?
Oh,
my
that
God,
angle.
Uzi just smoked that guy.
Oh,
I want to see what angle Spiker's on, because Spiker is on the dining room table right now. Well, we're not going to see it. Ambi cuts me off.
I
That's
didn't
the
get
last
to
kill
see
upstairs.
What
It
was
looked
he
like he
looking
had
at?
a hole in the short wall, like into blue hallway,
Oh.
I think, and he was just like sat on top of the table.
probably
staring
looking at
it.
like bar or something, right? Like
Yeah,
that
something
bar
like
door.
that.
Yeah.
But
Maybe.
either way, that was a flawless round, wasn't it?
If not, it was damn close. I think it was. It was a flawless round for AAA there. And deservedly so, especially with how aggressive they were.
Yeah, I'm surprised it was flawless considering how many peaks they were taking, but they won all of them.
That's like big by LG
Incredible
just to
job.
not be in the positions to not get those rebags, especially 2 of them coming out on jump outs. Like, you know, Arial Academy, right? Like, these 2 teams, these players play with each other in ranked, I feel like, a lot. And I also feel like they just know each other and have played with and against each other for so many times that you should understand the tendencies of each other. And for Luminosity to not expect like 3.5 million jump outs per game on the over-under for Arial Arise ACAD, kind of shocking.
All good, though.
Oh, good. No way. He's just going to get 2.
I love Solus.
It's so cool. It's
Solus
so funny.
is so funny.
I'd
They
be
have,
so
wait, he
mad.
got another drone at some point, too. There's only 7 left.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I was talking with, well, like, after we saw the Solus initial reveal, like, I hadn't seen any gameplay, no scrims of her yet. I was talking to Cherish about Solus, and he's like, I don't know, she just seems like a worse Pulse. And I was like, yeah, it looks like she's really gonna have her place, but like, I don't know who in a defending lineup you'd take out. And well, the answer is anyone, literally anyone. She is just the GOAT. With how
I feel
important
like
info is in this game, like even taking out 1 or 2 drones in prep would be like, that could be round changing alone. They're able to get through the cutoff, and
Wow.
Ashen got an opening kill to boot on the Flores.
Let alone like talking about Solus just in that like aspect is still more engagements going through, is Arial just continuing to take these fights to LG and scaring them off. But Solus is so good at not only denying that info, but really can be traded out for anyone. You see so many times in these lineups, it's not just one player on Solus. Like for Luminosity, you see like 3 different people cycle through her. On Arial Rise ACAD, I feel like we've seen at least 2 different people playing Solus. So it's like multiple different people, depending on the bomb site, can play this new operator. And also, I agree with you. Like when we were talking about when I saw that Solus came out, I think it was like right before the season. I was like, or before I knew who was coming out, is okay. Splash falls.
Splash just crumpled.
Just fall it down. Fall it down. Well, I'll hold that thought until the end of the round and expand on more on that. As we're starting to pop into the action, and Ariel's still going through, just taking so many of these fights. It's Asian to hop through the mezzanine window, able to find 1, but not a second. Nearly, though, able to do so. But now it's Yin and Yang. Final duo here for LG to try and pull back this round.
I love their names, by the way.
It works out so perfectly.
Instead
when
of
it's
Yin
2v.
and Yang, get it Yin and Yang, because Ying is an operator in Rainbow Six Siege. That and one is literally named Asian, and Rice is also Asian. Ha 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 ha. I like the split they have going on in blue. That's really their only chance to win the round, but unfortunately Uzi gets the drop on Asian. Rice gets the trade, puts himself into 1 versus 2. It's winnable with 30 seconds remaining, but nice crossfire from Spiker to cover his teammate, giving AAA a 3-1 lead.
AAA just continuing to stomp out LG right now on their own map pick, and good for them. I mean, they're doing a great job of just being aggressive. These early kills that are happening are working very well in favor of AAA. I feel like they've had the opening pick the last 3 rounds, and they've won those last 3. So they continue to do so. LG really need to take a step back and be like, okay, how are we going to deal with these runouts? How are we going to deal with aggression from these guys? And they currently don't have an answer.
Yeah, as the one time AAA like kind of stood still and held one part of the map was on Garage, where they tried to hold dining and were just kind of standing still, and LG ran all over them. So at some point, we're going to have to see LG counteract this aggression or force AAA to hold a position. I also hope I hope Ambi reloads his bailiff this time after prepping.
Wait.
But,
You can see her. He's like checking,
there you go.
making sure.
But yeah, I mean, onto that Solus point, I didn't think she was going to be as good as she is until I was like, oh, wait. She could just... the more I thought about it, too, the more I was like, wait, she could just see drones. Like, that's already just huge. Like, you could just see drones. Like, you could almost, like a conductor, like, conduct your defense based off of where the utility is coming from and where you see it. Like, plus that, and like the point I made earlier, where she disables cutoffs. Like you
Yeah,
can't have drone cutoffs anymore.
Exactly. Like those are some of the few things I had like thought about when she came out. I was like, okay, you can't really put out cutoff drones. I'm like, also, roaming is just gonna be unreal, and flanks are so very easily doable because you could just look, okay, no one's on the flank cam. Guess what? I'm exposing this right now and running past it. Right? Like now it can work against you if the attack baits it properly and are off cams when they need to be and they get on cams and catch you running by. It can happen. But there's plenty of opportunity.
Asian's thinking about it. He's really thinking about it.
Why not?
I don't think there's really any. There's just that guy on the shield. I don't think anyone's watching him. Spiker is preoccupied with the breach being opened by Ace, as well as that hatch control. This could be the perfect opportunity for Asian to make a move. He's not going to just yet. Maybe taking some damage on that roam. Asian now joined by Rice. So instead of taking that early stance in sight, instead they'll have Rice rotate over. Get that breach down on the wall. C4 ready and waiting. It goes out, but the Nitro cell disabled by the EMP mid-air. Not like that would have killed anything. May have done damage to Rice, but that's a big kill from Ambi. Dropping down the vent hatch. Kills Kickstro, shoots him in the back. Uzi supporting, gets splash, and now they have to worry about Ambi. Eddie's got to rotate all the way outside. He does kill the alibi, but the damage is already done.
This is the successful aggression looming through from AAA yet again. Just being stupid aggressive against these players. And Asian is going to have to try to get rid of the mute jammer, currently preventing Rice from opening up this elbow wall or this boiler wall. It's going to remain closed unless that nade can come on through. There's nothing to deny it. There's no ADSs. There's none of those with my pancakes. But you still have to be able to do something about it. Asian might even be contested with some of those players. Now we'll be able to open up, but flashed by his own teammate. So that's not too helpful here for LG. They're going to have to make something happen. That nade, beautiful, as it brings down Spiker. So man count even here, but 30 seconds boiling down. They've got to get the wall open and get this execute underway.
Still 2 C4s in pocket for Arial. As Asian begins to, I think, rotate away. Rice gets in that default plant spot, destroying the barrel. Long angle held by Asian. He gets freaking smoked. Wow, indeed. Uzi trades himself out. Nearly a successful round for LG. They just had one player to go through. Ashton was full blind. Oh my God. Eddie had a great opportunity, but unfortunately didn't click the trigger in time. And AAA come away with the round win. And I gotta say, that shot from Uzi in the 3v3 really opened things up. Without that kill, I don't think they win that.
Uzi has no business winning that. And that's exactly, like, you're exactly
the
right.
all caps, wow, half a second after the kill.
Like,
bro.
That, like, I have had those moments. You have those moments when you're a player and you're like, I just got smoked. Like, that's your reaction, is like, that guy hit the better shot. Sometimes that's what Siege comes down to, is like, the other player just hits the better shot. Like, a lot of it's team play. There's a lot of team play involved. But sometimes it really does come down to who hit the better shot. And that moment was Uzi hitting the better shot and just making the better play.
That was like the shot of his career. That was incredible.
That Asian got decimated.
Winning that with a 1.52, like that's an angle that a lot of people will hold with like a DMR. Or like Glass. Like that's where Glass sits,
that's like
bro.
a Rooney has to challenge that angle.
Yeah.
No, a Rooney. It was
I remember
Oryx.
like playing rank, like I'll sit there as Glass and just be like unchallengeable. And it's like Uzi just hits those, I guess.
I was
Uzi's
playing
just that
earlier and
guy.
like sitting there as Callie, just trying to smoke people.
Oh my
it's like,
God, Ashen almost killed that guy.
he hasn't put down his shield yet. Come on,
Yeah,
you're not reloading.
that
you're not
kill
putting
was
down
more
your
important.
shields. That's
kidding
fair. That's fair. But what if he dies?
Now he's still challenging. Bro, he's gonna like action shield.
I want to see
Oh
him
my
pull out the
God.
shield, just start
Bro,
crouching
Ashen
around
is
with it.
Bro, Ashen is 3-3 and he's feeling himself.
He's so confident. It is unreal. But that aggression has been what has really pulled Arial through these rounds. I mean, seriously, getting those opening picks has been so important for them. They continue to thrive off of it. And hopefully, Ashen's looking to continue that.
That's that underager confidence that I missed. like moving from T3 to T2 and then not having SCS for so long. That's what I missed, bro. Underagers just peaking everything and then winning it. Like, you know damn well, if Ashen had a better opportunity, he would have won like both those fights.
Oh, yeah.
That was insane. Spiker's also on the table again. Just kind of chilling there. But LG not losing any bodies, despite the aggression from AAA. They've managed to stay all 5 up, working the clear, taking library control, and now moving to office. Half the wall left soft, curiously enough. AAA not full reinforcing it. They are out of reinforcements, too, so it's not like that was an oversight. They meant to leave that open. And Neo
Neo's outside
with another bathroom, balcony, run out. That's the opening pick onto Rice. That is the only hard breacher the attack is bringing. That dining wall is staying closed.
Is he gonna get another one too? He might. Look at the confidence and just the aggression. I mean, Ashen getting aggressive, Uzi being aggressive, Neo getting one up top. Does get refragged, but I mean, the damage is just being taken to Luminosity. There's no answer for how aggressive these kids are playing. It's like the bullies of the stomping ground, dude. It's like kickball, and it's just 5 all-stars.
It's like when you're just walking around enjoying your day and some little kid calls you old.
Okay, that one hits close to home for me.
Well, that's what's happening right now. Like, you talking about bullies. But right now, the younger generation is just running all over the older generation. They're not even that much older. These guys are only like 2 to 3 years older than Arial ACAD. That's what's funny too.
Yeah, Arial ACAD, they all
This is
just,
the
like,
difference between 16 and 19. It's truly a generational gap in Siege years.
I was watching back the VOD that I was casting with V for Wichita and Arial ACAD, and I said these kids barely just got their driver's license.
Yeah.
Like in reality, right?
Dude,
like these kids are like.
Can you
at their
believe
permit
Ambi?
tests.
Ambi is allowed on the road.
Like, that is dangerous.
This guy drives in Chicago.
That's scary. In Chicago too. I've been there. Oh,
Dude, I'm 3 hours away. I could kill Ambi at any time.
oh.
I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I wouldn't do that. In game, of course. In game.
Yeah, in game.
And only if he's on my
In-game.
team.
Yeah,
I'm dude.
you're very good at team killing. I'll tell you what.
I am, bro. You did not stand a chance. you got
He
smoked.
got smoked.
Timeout being taken, of course, by LG, understandably so. I mean, they just won a singular attack on Chalet. That's almost a death sentence. Unless we're just seeing like a really actually, it's not even a defender side Chalet, bro. There's no smoke. Like, Twitch and Ying are banned. The attack should be winning more rounds. Like, Luminosity through and through just got outclassed.
Especially with a zombie off the board on Chalet.
Yeah, like
and we know
how
how much a zombie changes the playing field.
like, I feel like sure Valkyrie is left up, which is huge for the defense, and Solus too. Valkyrie wasn't even played every round, and plus you have like every operator on the attack at your disposal. Like, who cares about Twitch being banned? You have everyone else left.
But
The fact that-
Luminosity crushed so hard on that Ying, dude. Like, I feel like now that teams are figuring that out, it is a concern.
that could be it.
With that happening. Like, I do see them losing their stuff. I think it's
I think Asian just hunted down his drone. Yeah. Spiker's not happy about that.
I mean, he should be happy that his team's up 5-1 right now on a Chalet defensive
I mean,
side.
Who knows? Maybe despite the bans, it's just a really defender-sided Chalet.
Will this
Maybe.
be the first BO3 that goes to 3 maps if Arial A can close it?
No. Arial IF went to 3 maps.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Wow, Eddie almost died of the fire. He got out.
It's hot.
That's
That's why you
huge
see
for
the
Eddie.
dock there. That's why you see the dock there. No dock. Sad.
Yeah. Bro can just stand in the fire and then
Oh, that's
like,
great.
He does not care.
Just eat it up. Especially
But-
if you throw those Womitis.
But with Eddie falling off, that leaves Kixro a bit isolated. Chilling here on Chimney. Of course, Spiker cannot jump in this window due to the fear of someone being below. There is a Jaeger upstairs, not necessarily contesting library with the Wamai, but still covering his cross, covering this big window, making sure no one on the attack is going to gain free stance in office. I think another defender has come upstairs to join him or is thinking about joining him. I can't tell who that is by trophy stairs. Ah, that's Asian.
Yeah, I think Splash is just being way too aggressive here. If he just continues to sit here and be annoying and stay alive, it doesn't look like Ariel is going to send anyone to go after him. And actually, it's Kixro with 2 kills. I don't know from where. Somewhere across the map finding 2. Ash gonna walk up. Will we find it? Yes, he does. Now top blue control netted for Ariel, but quickly shut down as Asian will bring down Ambi. Ashen has been down but not out, so it's left to Neo, the newest pickup for Arial ACAT, but he's had some time to gel with his roster. Let's see how his clutch potential goes.
Wow.
No! Kick throw with a revolver? Yeah. The Keratos, that's what it's called. Oh, that's mean.
Well, there's I guess a great example of the difference between the styles of aggression. AAA were, running out everywhere. They were actively taking gunfights, running around the map, meeting LG outside. Meanwhile, LG have firm positions. They have Splash playing piano in office to deny that office control. They have Eddie sitting in the corner of library, coming up those blue stairs to hold the shield, and they have Kickstro on the chimney. And from those set positions, LG take the fights and win them. I think Arial ACAT maybe also struggling with that initial clear because they couldn't gain control of office. I think that was definitely a big part of it, but also LG just swinging out at the perfect time. Kickstro getting the 2 kills in library, really opening things up for his defense. And LG take a round back. That's their first round win since round number 2. So definitely needed that one to try and stop the bleeding. Now Arial ACAT move on to attack the garage, bringing a plethora of new operators.
Yeah.
Seconds left.
How they got
Couple
that,
new ones.
that Sledge and that Jackal.
Ooh,
Never
the
mind.
Maverick.
A Maverick. Interesting.
That'll be for the garage wall. More than likely, you'll have Action just like Swiss cheese that wall, or you can do the little rappel angle with the Maverick torch there, and that's also something that you can do. It's just a pain for defenders to try to fight through it, but when you got players that are good enough and have the caliber of weapon to be able to shoot through like that, never mind. Ashen's on the complete other side of the map. He just wants Maverick to go torch into big garage slowly, I guess. I don't know. Weird. So they're gonna actually open up this wall, the main wall, and they're gonna fully open that, and then they're just gonna have Ashen go on a quiet mission somewhere across the map. Oh, he snuck in.
Perfect. That
Oh,
was
he gotten
Do you know
away?
how hard that is? Dude, for
It-
those of you watching, that is really hard to do unless you're practiced. That was perfect. And
Attackers have located a bomb.
they don't know.
You just walk in.
Is someone
wait.
watching the hatch? Wait, no. Splash is coming downstairs. Splash knows, and he's gonna win the fight. Ashen, bit too big for his britches. Splash takes him out really early on. There goes that solo sneaky mission that Arial were going for. I wonder if Splash heard the barricade break.
I think he just hesitated too long. I think Ashen should have just gone for it. You know what I mean? It's one of those moments where you just gotta
Yeah,
full
if
send
Splash
it.
was stuck on the stairs, I think he wins that, but that was just a better angle.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt. And the SMG on those close range engagements, you just have the better fire rate. Like the M4, very good weapon, very good at killing, but
How
also
is Eddie alive?
Eddie alive? What?
That's crazy.
That is
You're gonna send another
unreal.
nade in,
Oh, it's
maybe?
the bait.
No, it's a
That's
bait,
huge.
and it's 2 for
Uzi!
Uzi. The bait works for a double kill. Now it's Rice on site. Asian above, the yin-yang duo rearing its head once again. This time in a 2v4. They catch Uzi, and another for Asian. Brilliant shot on Spiker to shut down the Sledge, but Uzi's not finished off. Still resable. That's exactly what AAA are going to play for. Emby walks over to help his teammate. Just making sure no one's peeking from the main stairs as he does so. Neo's still outside the site, just misses on the cross from Rice. Asian lurking up those blue stairs once again. In comes the Ash, deals damage. They trade bullets, but Asian gets away with his life. Now Neo's got to figure out how he's going to get through this breach. Where is the support going to be coming from? Misses out on a crucial angle that could have stopped Asian as he went to re-engage that connector player, but Neo finally gets someone to bait. Rice goes down. Asian's got to make a stand. He peeks the breach down and finishes off Neo. That's huge. That drops Case. Now these 2 low HP attackers have to go for the fight, but they've got info. They've got pings. Nade goes out. Down goes the Iana, but Ambi's right behind for the trade. Asian doesn't expect the double stack up, and AAA claw away the round.
G36C is just being better. In that case, LG over peaking. Overstaying their welcome on the bomb site. Should have just forced AAA into the site. I think that they would have fared better off had they just waited. Instead, they overpeaked, and unfortunately, I believe it was Rice or Yang in the lobby to swing out, losing their fight to Neo, and losing that fight was crucial because that set Asian on into a 1v3. He nearly clutched it out, but just not enough ammo and not enough wherewithal to to understand that 2 players were going to go walk down the main stairs. Sometimes that happens when you hear of the G36C. There's 2 of them in the same exact spot, and that's the qualms that happen when guns are repeated in the game. Sometimes you can be bait, and you can bait, hey, there's the G36C over here. That means this operator's over here. There's the other one. You don't know.
That was chaos in those last few moments, especially with how low HP Uzi and Ambi were.
It was
I
just
think
a
Asian. I think if Asian was still shooting at main stairs, I think he wins that. But he didn't expect the double stack up. I think he expected Ambi to come back down through the breach to play the crossfire instead of working his way right behind Uzi, which makes sense. You can't fault Asian for thinking that. You really
No,
can't.
exactly.
It was a 50-50 shot, and he just chose wrong. Now Arial ACAD. They lead 6-2, a much more dominant affair than we saw on Bank Clims. And if Arial end it here or within the next 2 rounds, they get side choice on map 3.
Yeah, and that's big because it's Clubhouse.
Yeah.
And everyone knows that Clubhouse is all about that D. So,
Me too.
yeah.
So we're just not going to be happy with that one. All good.
It's okay. You know what? In Columbus, it'll be okay.
Oh.
Eddie, do it, Eddie.
Oh.
Do it, Eddie.
What?
Eddie!
All right, there we go.
Okay. Oh, well, that is some of the aggression kind of firing back. The mirror window gonna get popped open though? Maybe? No. Okay, Asian barely stopping it. That's good.
That was a wild ride for a hot 3 or 4 seconds there. As Eddie was just did not want to peek as wide as he should have. But they do get the kill on Ashen. So IQ's dead. Drone coming in, spots the Jaeger in the bathtub. So Kixro's position now known, but of course, he's technically like right next to the site, so it's not that big of a deal. Neo is trying to dare Eddie into peeking, but of course, Eddie's not going to take the bait. He's just going to rotate away. The attack now figuring that they cannot take library. It is an impossible affair. They'll start to work on piano as Spiker opens the window. Neo, not sure where he's going. You have a big window player in the hands of Ambi. Neo's watching that bathroom window cut off, but it's a really hard shot to hit. Rice gets the leadoff kill here onto Ambi just as the execute begins. Uzi lands the kill in the bathtub, but that's all he'll get for now. There's another Mira window now staring at him, played by Splash, but the Mira decides to work her way up. Spiker now dead. Uzi a freebie onto the Frost, looking for the second, now spotting the Mira window yet again. The castle barricade protecting him. But Neo, an equalizer. This is huge, 2 versus 2. Uzi is just in the middle of office. He could easily kill this Aruni if he just swings her. But he's playing it passive because he doesn't exactly know where Splash is. Uzi finally comes around the corner. This Lion is somehow still unchecked. Splash hits a nasty shot to make this a 1 versus 1, and now Neo's got to prove himself. On match point, can he end this quickly? He's technically got the Mira window to his advantage, but Splash, there's a C4 lurking somewhere. It's going to force Neo into the doorway. A lot of damage done to the Mira, and Neo finishes him off. Arial Academy, off the back of Uzi. Just walking around the middle of the site, good for 3 kills. Allows AAA to take the map 7-2.
I mean, it was the first time we saw Mira in play. LG were playing it perfectly. And Ariel Rise Academy, Uzi, namely, just walking in behind them, making the rotate, going up through solar, and just made the better play. And no one on LG wanted to kill Uzi. No one. And there was no information in the bomb site on where he was. No one was aware that Uzi was just strolling his way on through the bedroom, on into the office.
I think it was just timing. I think they really just got timing. Because, right, the player who's in charge of not letting that happen or calling it out is Splash, right? Because Splash is the one holding that Mira. So when Uzi walks up and kills Kixro in the bathtub, Splash is probably like, oh, well, this guy's not just going to walk in. I have a Mira. And then, like, the moment that he turned around to try and, like, engage Piano, and Piano double door, Uzi makes his way in and kills the Frost. And at that point, Splash is like, oh, crap. I got to go back to the Mira. He's got the castle barricade to protect him, and he's like, okay, now I'm watching. But little does he know, Uzi has now passed him into office. And that was a really smart play from Uzi. You got to give it to him. Knowing that, actually, I don't know if Splash just wasn't watching, or maybe the wall was reinforced and he didn't have an angle to watch where Uzi was. I'm trying to look back at the Twitch feed now to see if there even was an angle that Splash could watch. But otherwise, you know, having the knowledge to see that, oh, there's a castle here. Like, we know this guy is going to play his Mira. This Aruni was isolated. Like, the preset drone work, too, from Arial ACAB was really good. And I got to pin it on the lack of a Solus. There was no Solus. So Arial ACAB had those cutoffs really early, and they acted off them really well.
Yeah, they did a great job of that. And let alone that, I also want to say, like, for that moment that Uzi had, I think it was one of those chances where it's like Uzi made it further than he thought he was gonna get.
The solar wall was completely open. There was not a
yeah, it was wide open. Yeah, it should have been noticeable if I'm right. I think Uzi like had one of those chances where he could have just was just like, I'm here. And like kept going, and no one was punishing him. He was like, "I'm still here," and it just kind of happened. It fell into
like
his
Splash.
lap, really.
Splash saw him too. Splash knew he was there. It was when Splash, like, you remember when he walked in the bathroom to try and channel the window?
He, like, turned around.
That's when Uzi came in. So yeah, it was just
timing.
Really bad timing for Splash and really good timing for Uzi. But a 7-2 win is quite the statement after as close of a game as Bank was, and many mistakes there were for AAA on Bank. So clearly just not as comfortable on that map. We went to Chalet. They really proved it was their playground. Now we move on to Clubhouse, map 3. That decider map will be just after this break.
Hawks on a double though, and he finds the third through the smoke. Just an ult. Getting it to 3 with 3 seconds left. Final lands the pre-fire. Nobody can kill him in time. And he clutches it out. What a play from the alibi as the lobby player goes unchecked.
All right, welcome back, everyone. If you missed map number 2, after winning Bank 7-5, LG seems to not have much of a response on Chalet. Much more aggressive from AAA and much more successful. They ended up winning the map 7-2.
One of the smaller maps where the young bloods of Siege and some of the future of Siege were just running around. It just felt like they ran free all over LG on this map. It seemed like that there was no answer, and Arial Rise ACAT just getting the opening pick so many times, it felt like, and just winning out their engagements just in general. Luminosity, no answers really to come from it, and they struggled a lot. And going on to map number 3 of Clubhouse, I'm not a big fan of LG here.
Even though they've won it, they won it 7-1 against One Shot. They won it 7-1 against Arial Arise in the playoffs. I don't know. I think Arial ACAD just have loved this map for far too long. LG, you know, when LG were first a team 2, you know, back in the days of aggro, they were also Clubhouse demons. People just kept taking them to Clubhouse. But I don't know. More recent times, I think Arial Academy might have the edge. But of course, that's left to map number 3. First, we can talk about the stats from Chalet. Uzi topping the leaderboards 15-7. Neo really waking up to 10-5. Great entry numbers across the board with the exception of Ashen. And it's kind of like a flipped scoreboard from what we saw on Bank. A couple standout performers, but really everyone on Arial Academy having positive impact. Just one player kind of lagging behind. And on LG, Asian was positive, was negative on entry, and everyone else was negative in the KD.
Yeah, seriously big problems here for LG going into Clubhouse. I mean, Eddie not showing up, not lighting up the scoreboard, at least, that we typically see him do. And Asian, on the other hand, still staying in that consistent role. Some of the other members did pick it up on Bank, so they were able to be relatively successful still and end up taking that map. But on to map 3, unless Eddie can get something figured out, I really think that he is the ultimatum X factor for LG, whether or not they are going to be successful here going into Club.
Yeah, I think they definitely need to start waking up. Clubhouse, though, inverse to the first couple maps we saw, not a great Solus map. The maps like Oregon, maps like Clubhouse, very default maps. She's not as great on. There's not as much verticality like across the entire map, I would say. At least not important verticality like there is. She has to be on the middle floor to really get full range of her Solus. It's not big like Bank or Villa. So Club, I imagine we'll see less use of her. We might still see her brought out, but I don't think she's going to be like quite the game changer she is on the other 2 maps and the other maps that we've seen her be brought on. However, judging by the last few ban phases, I am hopeful that we might see a Clubhouse with someone like a Valkyrie up.
Yeah, most definitely. I think we will. I still think that Arial or Rise ACAT are going to get rid of the Ying and go for that target ban against LG. And LG on the other band. Wait. Okay. I thought I saw the LG ban Ying, and I was really concerned for a second. I was like, that's their own off. But Thatcher off the board. Second ban to roll on through from Arial Rise ACAT, and curious on who it might be. Still hasn't popped up yet, but it's Tabana.
So they leave the Ying up for LG. Now, also granted, Ying's not a great Clubhouse operator, so it is understandable. She's a lot better on Bank and a lot better on Chalet. Hibana's going to take away a lot of that hatch presence from the attack. Now they'll have to rely on Ace and Hard Breach charges for the most part. Valkyrie and Azami will be our last couple defensive bans. So fortunately, my wish did not come true. Valkyrie is gone. Azami also gone, leaving Mira, Solus, and Cade up with a Thatcher ban. That's the most important one. Cade is still alive and well. We all know how good he is on this map, especially now with a Hibana ban. Those hatches are going to be really tough for the attack come the downstairs defenses. But LG are not opting for him. Instead, they take the Bandit. Maybe the Bandit tricking Church Wall?
On basement. But they've got a mute jammer there, so I don't think they're Bandit checking Church. They got to be upstairs. I imagine that they're going to focus a heavy defense somewhere here on the top floor,
Yes,
whether that ends up being
Bandit trick on the
Jacuzzi
roam.
or more than likely probably CCTV in the plat balcony. That's
that's
my
what he's
bet.
waiting.
Yeah, it's at least what he's closing off. It's gonna force a lot of that utility to be used if LG, or rather Ariel Arise, go for this roam. But
Here's the intel.
I don't know. I feel like bringing the Kaid would have just been better, considering that you can throw those electric claws in different positions and keep walls like that close even longer. Retrieve those electric claws and then go ahead and put them back up for the basement and force LG to use even more utility.
Yeah, big 3-tiered roam from LG. Ariel Arise, though, taking Jackal, making sure that their drone presence doesn't need to be quite as thorough as usual. Ashen already opening up that kitchen hatch with one of his Selmas. Oh, Eddie got there in time. I think he destroyed the second. So that's big. That was actually with just one left, and that also opens up the possibility to impact tricking the kitchen hatch. But Splash does go down, and he'll be finished off by Spiker on the roof. So he confirms his own kill, and AAA start off with a man lead. That is until Eddie ascends the staircase and lops the head off of Neo, a Jackal, an important roam clearing op.
Neo, who's picked up for their support ability, no longer on that support role, and well, they've fallen, but at least it's not, I wouldn't say a relatively important operator to lose. Like Jackal, very good for their own player, but Ariel's already done a pretty good job of getting most of Luminosity back to the bomb site, and really now it comes down to just getting these hatches open, getting everything down for the execute. Sure, you lose those smoke grenades, which may have been huge, especially considering there's no Warden in play by the defense, but that hatch will get two impacts to come through, and the hatch stays closed.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. With Eddie coming in and destroying that first Selma charge, and really with the Selmas to begin with, Ace does not have nearly as much utility as Hibana does, at least for opening hatches in particular. Luckily, Ambi's still here with the Thermite, so he can use his second exothermic charge on the kitchen hatch, and there are still 2 remaining impacts, but Asian not in a position to use them. So the kitchen hatch does get open, but with no hard breach remaining, it does mean Church will stay closed.
Feel like Luminosity Gaming are starting to feel a little bit claustrophobic in the bomb site. They've really been pushed back into these isolated positions behind the AK racks and as well onto the dummies. Flashbangs and a nade to come on through to try to distract them as Ambi has dropped in the bomb site, and nade will land and bring down Kixrow. Eddie might take a little bit of damage, and the diffuser continues to go down. Coverage is there, beautifully done by Ariel Arise as they got this diffuser down, but Asian to find 2 on the response here in this post plant. Immediately onto the diffuser as Eddie is LG still trying to get onto these post plant positions, or Ariel rather trying to get on these post plant positions. Eddie hopping off the diffuser, walking up the main stairs as Asian now he'll win out the gunfight on Ash, and LG with an incredible retake to take out this round.
Eddie baiting out the diffuser, forcing Spiker into the building, and then taking his head off was a huge play that opened things up. Ashen not high enough HP to be able to win that fight, and especially in that position, just kind of stuck in the middle of the hallway. Not advantageous at all. Asian doing a lot of work on site, getting 3 kills. And the most important one probably being the Iana of Uzi. The guy covering main stairs, the guy who's supposed to prevent the defense from being able to rotate in and start getting that counter diffuse. Well, Asian just kind of slapped him. So big 3 kills on the round for him. Eddie with the other 2, of course. LG steal away the round from AAA and avoiding avoiding Cash for now, because obviously Cash is not great anymore. LG
Cash is
will
money.
make their stakes in gym.
Cash is money. Is it not?
No,
No.
sucks.
It's not anymore. It used to be money, but now cash just, it kind of sucks. Kind of just one of those bad bomb sites. But we'll probably see a bar defense, I imagine, out of LG. Teams have definitely started to side their way into bar after this secondary bomb site of bedroom has really blown up. I think teams have started to enjoy bedroom more, which is nice, because it's cool to see these extensions still over into garage and CCTV like you have Kixrow playing currently. But he's got to deal with a lot of these players here from Ariel Rise who are more than likely willing to contest this garage platform.
I do like the the double hard breach that AAA are bringing, though, definitely leaves them with tons of options. And like we saw last round, you know, if the ace doesn't necessarily work out for opening the hatch, you've got backup. We also didn't talk about Nook being left up. This is the
Yeah,
first
that's a
time
rare
we've
one.
seen her. A Solus does kind of hard counter her. Oh, the nade! Rice just narrowly surviving it.
If that's 2 seasons ago, it lands.
Ashen, are wanting that back. Could have maybe positioned it a little better, cooked it a little better. Either way, curious to see where Neo ends up going. Not typical that we see a Nook left up at all. Not typical we see a Nook left up on Clubhouse. So lots of opportunity for him. Seems like for now, though, he's going to sit in kitchen. Maybe end up nading someone in Logi.
Plenty of opportunity to do so. As Uzi will check a soft nade, really get rid of this bandit battery on the wall, but no, it does not actually go away. So Ambi will have to open up the right side of the wall. A little less preferred here by Arial, considering it just gives the defenders a little bit better of a pixel angle from the logistics door. But other than that, nothing too serious to note. But currently Neo is going to have to deal with this guy on the main stairs. A flashbang and a nade tag teaming Eddie right now on the main stairs. Is Neo going to walk on up? Will take the fight, able to win it out. The recoil qualms that were nerfed to the FMG9, not going to happen. Neo finds a second now as they continue to just walk up the main stairs. He's all the way up and through, but it's a little too overzealous and will lose their life out to Kicksrow.
Ashen kills Asian, who is attempting to flank. We saw him earlier by the staircase. Pistol out. Ashen's looking for the last one. Eventually have to escape down the stairs. Splash with one, kicks the other, but the refrags are there for Spiker, getting both the last two after his teammates have fallen. AAA tie up the score with a great gym attack opened up by some brilliant Nook play from Neo.
Yeah, Neo really just being able to walk up the main stairs, expose Luminosity's defense, and a great play. There's nothing to really say about it. Luminosity just had no answer. Great teamwork by Arial Acad to flash out the player on the main stairs, use the advantage and walk on up. And Neo doing a great job, almost as like a pseudo entry there. Walking on in and taking the fights, doing a very good job and winning them out.
And now, Cash rears its ugly head.
Cash is money.
There are people who think Bar is unironically a better site.
Yeah, it's kind of gotten that way.
Yeah, Cash is just
definitely.
That is just not. There's just too many options for the attack in Cash.
Yeah,
you go for
it's
a
too
con
easy.
split. I mean, you're gonna open the breach like almost no matter what. Then you could go for garage. You could go for con. You could work up red. You could take stock and work picks from below. There's so many options for the attack, and there's not a lot that the defense can do to stop it other than killing them. Like, wow. Okay, Splash is going for a hold in bottom blue.
It's smart though, and I'll tell you why, Harrison. Because a lot of teams will send like a solo player through dirt, and that could be Neo actually, who's kind of over in that area, to go down through blue, and then you try to nade out of like under blue, and you can nade the guy off the wall, bandit tricking. That's one of the ways you deal with someone bandit tricking. Otherwise, you have to full clear everything. So if you just deal with blue, then it kind of alleviates that pressure. You're gonna open both and actually catch them off guard with the Hatter Breach gadget. So you'll all be fully opened up by the exothermic charge. Eddie chose wrong. Don't play your odds in Vegas. But Neo on this lurk with the Nook. And Nook is gonna be so impactful this map for Arial, and they need to abuse her as much as possible on this attack.
Asian's aware of it though, and he gets the jump on the Nook. Neo spotted out. He was kind of walking around the downstairs without his utility up, so kind of easy for Asian to just hear him. Uzi gets a fantastic pick on the kick. I don't know how he just won that, but Splash has already rotated into Oil Pit, gets the C4 up, but it's shot out of the air by Ashen. Shotgun comes out. Splash, maybe out of ammo with the SMG-11 after downing that player. Capitão's on the hunt, but he can't get the angle through the grate. He's just wasting time. Splash is just waiting for someone to assist him. He'll get shot in the foot, and he's still challenging. Oh, he finally dies. At long last, Splash gets taken out. Uzi, maybe Reservoir, but Ashen's got to get there quick. He's got to kind of got to res him like now, so he'll be able to get away with it. 3 versus 3. But Uzi very low on HP, and Ashen out of utility.
Time waste ever so impactful. Ashen to lose all of his utility there is once they were opening up the wall and potentially dealing with that Raptors player. So there's no smokes to go and play. The only thing that Arial and Riot is going to be able to execute off of are the flashbangs from the Thermite. Uzi's going to try to walk below with a nade. This could be huge if he finds one with that nade. It'll do a ton of damage to Asian, and he might even be able to find a frag onto Eddie, or at least do some damage, but no, the table would protect the shrapnel now as 40 seconds boils down for the execute to come underway. There is an avenue into the bomb site. Ashen does have some of those asphyxiating bolts to be able to get on through, but it's Rice to counteract that entry with the gas grenade of their own, and they're ready for this take to go on through. The flashes will fly on through. The plant's going to have to go down. Asian has taken so much damage. Ashen will get the kill on Eddie. A jump out of the window will find one on the Capito, but the plant's still going down. Uzi has to cover from the breach. Is able to do so. Will fall away to go play the post plant. Ambi's still stuck in the bomb site, though. Has to find one of these defenders. Will do so. Brings down Rice. No, Asian on just 1 HP. Forced to clutch out against one of the attackers on a rappel. The other one inside the bomb site spots the head. Able to get one. The pre-fire not able to land it though. Uzi though, all he has to do is just wait for the defuse to go on through. Asian will just ego challenge. Will he be able to win it? No! Uzi from the rappel wins it out onto Asian. A beautiful post plant by Arial ACAD, but Asian nearly heroic.
Ambi stepping up in the site, getting that plant down too, and getting the kill on Rice was huge. Had that been a 2v1, no way Uzi was going to be able to win that. Gotta give it up to Ashen on the coverage as well, killing Eddie. The only thing that was going to stop that plant in time, since the gas grenades couldn't run out the clock, the only thing that was going to stop that plant in time was the C4. Killing Eddie was the most important pick that Ashen could have possibly got in that situation, and he delivered, taking out the C4, leaving it up to Asian and Rice, who only had their guns to challenge. Ambi went 1 for 1 in sight, which is all you can really ask of him as the Thermite in that position. And, well, Uzi and Asian were playing paintball, and Uzi just landed his shot first. Wonderful stuff from the Iana there, and AAA kind of steal the round, despite the way that started.
I think it came off of the fire bolts from the Capital, like being able to prevent Asian from going and swinging through, and it brought him down to 1 HP. Not only does that make you like less confident, right, because you're 1 HP, you can't really take those fights, but also he couldn't walk through. He was going to be the player to try to swing through the cash door potentially and just have like a couple 2-on-1s. More than likely LG was prepared to go and double swing the guy on the breach and force Planter off. I believe it was Ambi in the bomb site to force him off of that plant. They might have been able to get away with that, but if it wasn't for the Capital bolts just stopping Asian from being able to go on through, they had to change what play was going to happen. Asian was able to get the Capital, sure, on that jump out, but, I mean, Arial CAD definitely stealing the way around. They cannot find this bandit battery.
Well, at least they got the wall open in some sort of capacity, and it's not going to matter too much that they got the right side, because, of course, this is a downstairs attack. No setup for an impact trick, so free breach for Ashen. That was a real pivot point for the attack last time on Church, but they'll just kind of give it to him. And he's on the hunt for some drones. He knows about the kitchen player, but he's not going to challenge, at least for now. Instead, he'll slink back to the site. Jackal tracks come out too, and it's almost at the perfect time. Splash just narrowly gets away and avoids the angle on the hatch. Will C4 open the wall to maybe watch the drop down or wait for the drop down to happen before he triggers it. But now that he's positioned himself in strip, this is great. He might die there, but there's only a minute and a half left on the clock, and the attackers are going to have to waste time hunting for him, though. Does go down. Uzi spots that he's down, and I doubt Arial are even going to try and clean him up. Like, they know he's down. No one's going to res him. You just let him bleed out.
Oh, think of boost across the map, except for you're on defense. So yeah, there's no hero for Splash, unfortunately, unless they had some miracle pre-placed Thunderbird heal station like set up in strip or something. Rice,
right.
Okay, that's cool. Ashen didn't want to play the rest of the round anyway, so evening it back out, losing one of the hard breachers. I think he had already opened up that kitchen hatch, but still one of those Selmas could have been used to open up that church triple wall. No longer will that be in play or the case. Dirt actually left soft, so there goes to confirm. But
yeah,
Eddie is thinking about it.
That's what Ashton was trying to do when he peeked out. He had a Selma in his hand. Eddie could catch the Dirt player off guard. I think maybe he was trying to wait for like a breaching charge that he could have taken advantage of with the Solus gadget, but instead he'll back off as the Jackal opens the wall. Gas canister comes out. Uzi's looking to challenge the shield, and he spots Asian just prone in a corner. Eddie at least gets the train on the Ambi. The Iana now dies trying to entry in. Ambi also had the case. It's down. They got to go and pick it up. Spiker dies to Eddie, just positioned on the tool rack, watching the hatch drop, and AAA can't make their way in. It's a triple kill for the Solus, and the tie score now from LG.
Playing back there and on the tool rack and by the AK is a great positioning there by LG, but I really think that came down to the mistakes made by Arial, Arise, Acad. Obviously, the diffuser being dropped, no good. And they were forced to make a dire play, both of them dropping down the kitchen hatch. No util to come from it, nothing to cover their drop, nothing to mask them. And with 10 seconds boiling down, there's only one assumption. They're going to flood from somewhere, and who knows where, especially if they knew that the diffuser was down, they being Luminosity, and more than likely, they were well aware. And Arial Rise ACAD just fumbling that attack. Oh, it's in sync. Oh, it's in sync. Oh, it's so good. Do it again. I think they did it again. I think they did it again. Too bad it wasn't Yang in the gang to do that. Because that would have just been like
Even better.
10 times more ideal. But I'll take it. I'll take
Good.
10 seconds of insertion.
No more, oh, no, never mind. I didn't see Neo now on Ace. So still the Rock in the double hard breach. Only no more Nook. Neo figuring that LG have been wise to his tricks in the last couple rounds. I like the Lion pick from Spiker. They got some extra EMPs in pocket. They can keep LG in their tracks. Or freeze LG in their tracks, rather. Still rocking the Bandit for whatever reason, too. And I think... Okay, so all the ace charges so far have been used to open up the garage walls. So they've got garage as an avenue. Next, they'll probably have Ambi and Ambi and Neo go for a like a double breach here, so that the Bandit can't stop both of them. That'll be the easiest way to do it.
Yep, here it comes.
There we go.
And
wow,
he chose wrong
too. He chose the ace charge.
Wait,
maybe
no,
it's in
gets
time.
it.
Oh no! Oh, the timing
that
was. I thought he had it.
So close. That was like literally he just didn't connect the circuit.
Oh, I thought he had it.
He connected the circuit.
It looked like he finished the animation too.
I thought so too, but I think there's like a split second of time where the game just like has to process it, and I just don't think that the game actually processed at the animation finish. There's some stupid fight happening over here in Garage. Mind the point, but Ambi able to take advantage of it in Garage control in favor of AAA. LG, they'll have to fall back.
It's just unfortunately they already lost 2 guys to Kixrow. I don't know why Uzi was solo challenging it, but you know, win some, you lose some, I guess. Arial ACAD got to work in the 3v3 with 1 guy in Garage. No, Ambi no longer in Garage. So Spiker in Swamp. Maybe looking to work a pickup red.
He's getting denied that Solus.
Solus down below. Waiting for Neo and Ambi to make their way through breach. Actually, they're just going to start sending it up red. The ace just walks up. Rice doesn't expect it. Neo, another one, and the Solus flank fails. Spiker catches him. What a play from AAA. They just sent it up red.
Wow. That's why CCTV and Cash now sucks. It's just not the ideal bomb site, and you can see AAA, or not AAA, LG, clearly understanding that. You're going to go to bar. And I think they should have done this sooner. I really do. CCTV might work in ranked or stuff like that because, you know, some ranked players still don't understand how to take that bomb site, but there's just so many avenues to be successful there. And with not everyone holding down the bomb site, there was no one to account for the red stairs walk up.
There's also no barb there, ever. Like there was nothing that the attackers even needed to destroy, unless they did it like really early in the round, but I didn't see any debris.
No, I don't think so. I think there was nothing there. I think you're right, Harrison. I think there was no barbed. They just stuck a player there on the red platform, and they just didn't hear anyone walking up the red stairs. Yeah, like, good luck. Yeah, like, have fun. you get to watch Red Stairs and the Breach and also Construction if they go from there. So, like, have fun.
I wonder too, because
5 seconds left.
Rice just kind of didn't even look. I wonder if Rice was like staring at the bridge and was like, "What am I hearing?" And then he died. Like, because you know how sound in Siege
More
works
than
sometimes.
likely. You heard
Oh,
him
we got
through,
bar
like, 3 drone
stage.
holes.
We got bar.
Yay.
Let's go. That was weird.
This is
The
where they
bailiff-
should have
did you
been.
see that? The bailiff like destroyed one layer of the wall and not the second. That was weird. But yeah, bar. A lot of people consider better than cash nowadays. But if a team really knows how to attack it, it can be tough to defend. Ashen getting the Evil Eye watching stage. That's important. If they can control the con hatch, they might be able to get into stage before the defense can react. Doesn't seem to be the play right now for AAA. Never mind that. They're trying full clear, but they have no sledge. They actually have no way to get into Platwall unless they use Hard Breach or one of Ashen's Roteros.
Can I just say,
Or they
like,
just walk
one
in
thing
garage.
that I've just noticed as of late? Capitao. It's kind of making a resurgence. like, in their
AAA,
comp.
I mean, AAA have always been a Capitao team. They've
I
always
just
liked
feel like
that.
in general, like after, you know, like watching so much SCS and like of this level of Siege, which I had never really done so before until I got involved and more involved, I feel like I've seen so much Capitao play, like compared to what I'm used to. Which is really cool. Like it's cool to see someone like Capitao used a lot. Ashen will do a lot of damage, an unhealthy amount of damage, one
There we
might
go.
say, to Splash. As down to 1 HP, still alive though, so still could be a difference maker.
Oh.
And again, it's just this game of okay, who can do more damage currently. Spiker loses, but
And
yeah,
so does Ambi.
oh, Rice.
Ambi gets destroyed by a long angle from Rice. No,
Ashen.
a whiff! You gotta hit those! Spiker's trying to get the plant down, but he doesn't have any support from Neo. It's far too dangerous. AAA losing their fights. Really uncharacteristic of this team. You really expected, I think that was Ashen just in the middle of the site. Thought he was gonna win that. At least got pings on the Solus. Neo's gonna go for the swing. They know he's in cash. He'll miss the first initial couple shots, and Asian gets away. The story of this round has been Arial doing damage, but not finishing their kills. Now they know he's backed off into stock, but the defense has as much info as the attack does. Capitao playing a dangerous game. This is a great angle for Asian to play with. He spots the feet below,
No
but Asian
way.
still wins it. Kickthrow finishes Neo, and AAA, a comedy of errors, causes them to lose out.
Whiff City. That is what happened. AAA just having one too many to drink and not hitting their shots at all. At all. Yeah. Just wow. They did so much damage, just could not find the kills for the life of them, and they were just in these one-on-one gunfights. They kind of hit the site, kind of didn't, and that uncertainty and non-coordination that came on through losing that body, obviously preventing Spiker from being able to get that plant down. AAA just a rough round, honestly. That's just a round that they wish they could have back. They wish that they could go back and land those shots, but the LG being able to play that one as smart as they did, just waiting, and things worked out for them in the best case by just winning their ones.
I think, dude, that was the right play for AAA. Instead of, like, having to take all the control, they just have someone sit and control con, like I said. Spiker was trying to get the plant down with his smokes aiding him, and the play for AAA was just push so far into the site that the defense couldn't push back, and then yeah,
Attackers are
they just
It
didn't-
just whiffed.
hit the
Exactly, yeah.
shot.
It was definitely the right play for AAA to make. They just failed to execute because they whiffed.
because they suck. Oh, they're terrible. Terrible team. This could be...
That was a suck moment.
Oh, Ashen
With-
just taking
with
the
City.
wrong angle. Asian lives another day, and Ashen has to slink back to site with damage done.
This is not too much. That's a healthy amount of damage. He's over 50 HP.
Yeah.
So, he's still healthy. He just, you know, has a cough. We'll go with that. Ashen's healthy. He's just got a cough, so he's not able to run maybe as far. Maybe that endurance not working out as well.
I know Arial ACAB losing those 3 rounds is going to hurt too because they chose attack. Remember, because they won by a larger margin than LG won their map, that means AAA got the advantage of choosing the side. They chose attack. Coming away 3-3 is definitely not how they wanted to end that. So now they've got a lot of work to do on the defense, especially because a lot of people consider Clubhouse now to be much more attacker-sided than it once was, especially considering the weakness of Cash. You know, you kind of have to go bar or Cash, and neither of them are fantastic sites anymore. And Ashen just
All the
took
sites are definitely
even more
winnable
damage.
for
Yeah,
an
they're all
attack.
winnable. It's just, you know, Church and Jim are pretty good.
No
oh, this could
way.
be huge! Rice
Ambi.
gets off the drone in time.
Eddie
Win the
with the
fight. So Ambi goes
response.
1-for-1. Eddie just walks up with the skeleton key and puts him down. But I mean, 1-for-1 on the thermite like that is definitely not bad.
That's a good trade.
Left to open hatches. At the very least, Eddie still has hard breach charges, so that's great. But your options are still going to be a little bit limited, especially as Uzi starts to come in from the top floor, looking to work down main. The drone just comes alive, but it didn't see him. It was just a flip through. They didn't actually check, but there's a cutoff still upstairs. Splash gets the necessary trade, and I believe the Buck already had the hard breach charge down, so his job relatively done, especially with the sledge there for redundancy. They can still work Church, or sorry, they can still work above Arsenal, so the loss is not terrible.
This is what AAA succeed with on their defense, especially when they were playing on Chalet. They were just stupid aggressive, running at LG, and they still, almost it seems, at least on Club, have yet to find an answer for some of the flanks and crazy out-of-pocket plays being made by AAA. But LG, they have this opportunity to go for the execute, the dirt door being barricaded. More than likely, you'll see Asia just explode on through it, and there it goes. It gets opened up. It's just one more thing for Luminosity or for AAA rather, to worry about on their defense. Neo is going to shut the
huge!
C4. That could go huge, but no, it lands short, as well as he loses his life to Spiker. On for the clutch, trying for the hero story, for his revenge story as well. Not able to sprint across the main stairs, so Asian will win it out. Luminosity winning their first attack here on Clubhouse.
Neo going for the C4. I saw the vision, but that's just not the way you got to do it. You got to throw it deeper. He was not covered at all either. As soon as Asian hears the rip of that C4, you know damn well he's going for the fight. Like, in a position like that, you need to kill the C4 guy or you're dead. And Asian just took the right stance, especially with the double up. Unfortunately, the other site player falling as well. That was pretty unwinnable for Spiker with the control that LG had with all that back arsenal and AKs. So AAA now trail for the first time since round 1. Down 4-3. They opt for Jim instead. Rocking the Doc, rocking the Cade as well, now that there's no Thatcher. LG will respond to the Cade with a Maverick, so still with 2 hard breach. You'll probably see the Maverick, tricking one of the walls while the Thermite works on the other. I would have to imagine. What they don't have is EMPs.
No EMPs, but the
Spiker's
Maverick,
going downstairs with the Cades too, so.
they do have the Maverick, so probably just trick the wall, make it easy. As for anything else, though, if Spiker chooses to move those electric laws anywhere else, then maybe it'll be a little bit more difficult to get any of these walls, but relatively far back defense. Also, again, Mira not being shown so far by the Sims, especially on a gym bedroom defense, where typically you might see one in like Logi, you also might see one on that back wall. Nothing like that being brought out by these rosters.
Plat wall getting opened. LG starting their cache clear. No one actually directly challenging it from the defense, so all this is mostly free. I think it's mainly Con. I think Arial have a Con shield. Oh my god. Late reinforcement from Uzi. Yeah, they do have a Con shield. So Ashen's playing behind that Con shield. Uzi reinforcing off Logi means that no one's going to be able to cover Ashen. He's just kind of here on an island with the shield alone. Ambi's looking to walk up blue, potentially flank red. The bulletproof also going to be not dealt with just yet, but the Maverick getting pounced on. Actually, it's the person peeking the Maverick hold, and now the Maverick himself. Splash gets 1 refrag, but the damage has been done. You've lost your Mav, you've lost nades, and there is still Cade Claws to deal with.
And you got to deal with the shields too. Sure, you have Asian, but where is he? Right? That's the biggest thing. You got to deal with that Con shield still. It's not gone. Sure, you have the Mav holes, and more than likely someone's not playing on it. They have a drone as well, so they'll have the information. They can walk in through Con. This is their only avenue through. the Cade Electric Claw, stopping them from being able to get through Khan and through Logi. The Jacuzzi wall will get opened on up, so another avenue eventually to go on through. Splash winning out the fight on a Spiker. Can he find a second? Uzi is taking a healthy amount of damage, but healing right back up is the dog. Ashen to take the swing. More than likely needs to win this fight, but it's Splash right now going on for a huge round. He's been quiet quite often here in SCS, but really starting to show up here with the gun. But the plant's starting to go down all of a sudden. In Jim, Ambi to win out the fight. Uzi wins out one as well, and Ambi continuing to swing with the P90. Arial Arise ACAD with fight for their own fight, starting to fight back here inside a clubhouse and in the bedroom.
That was almost really scary for Arial ACAD. I don't know what Spiker was doing, standing in the middle of the room just behind a mattress, challenging the doorway into Khan. He ended up dying. Uzi also getting dealt a lot of damage, but of course he's Doc, so he was able to heal himself up and keep his stand in bathroom. Ambi winning the fight onto Asian was the round-winning kill. Had Asian won that on the gym window, nearly an impossible post-plant for the Doc, but Ambi simply better in that fight, shutting down the coverage, and Rice kind of forced to stick in the position he was in with such little time remaining. I mean, maybe he had time to get off and kill the Solus, but not really winnable for him. AAA tie the score. We're back to 4-4, but instead of trying Church again, they're not all too confident with it. They'll opt for Cash. Uzi's still on the Dock. They've got a Wamai to hold Rafters. Ashen's on the Bandit as well. But he's not tricking, interestingly enough. He's playing bottom garage, at least for now. He might come back up to trick, but for now, he's happy to stay bottom garage.
Wonder, he's
he
gonna trick the garage walls? He is. It might be the play, too. Yeah, he's gonna get away with it. No way. Oh, that's so frustrating for LG. Wait, the other walls aren't even reinforced?
No, the other one's not even reinforced.
So
but
they've got
at
like
the very least, you take away one Selma, which is pretty big.
Hey.
And he's back upstairs. He doesn't get punished for it either. Now there's only one Selma left to open up the main wall.
I thought it was a Kaid Claw.
Yeah, unless you have Rice, like, actually work the whole wall as Maverick, which is a pretty big time commitment. Like, you've only got one Selma. So that's really good. And it looks like he is going to full Mav the wall.
He is. And with how aggressive Ashen is right now on this wall, he actually might be able to take advantage of it.
There's no way he swings this guy. He knows there's coverage from plat wall. But Uzi, swinging on his own, gets the kill on the ace. So the one Selma that was still up will remain unused thanks to Uzi getting aggressive. Ashen did, in fact, swing. He was not dealt any damage. I think he slightly lit up Rice coming away from the wall. Garage still in firm control of the defense. Asian lurking down below with the buck, but no one from AAA exposing themselves, at least for now. And it looks like it's a full rotate from this attack to work Con side. That sucks, though.
Even trade. Ubisoft said, I got your refrag. He was on the smoke.
He was on Spat.
Which is
I was going to say, wasn't he smoked? That's terrible.
That is ugly for AA.
That's good,
But
though.
maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe if they're just going to gift Ambi these kills, then he's going to be okay with it. Splash now is going to be tasked to deal with this roamer. The Solus still outside here in the bedroom, not even near the bomb site. Splash just peeking his head into the bomb site, but leaving and un-ADSing at the wrong time. Ambi will lose that fight. Asian trying to walk up the red stairs. It's not going to happen either. And more than likely, LG not looking too comfortable in this round.
Wow.
Neo from the rafters will bring down Eddie and close it out. Arial Arise ACAT. Looking good.
That bandit trick bottom garage. And then the follow-up peek from the dock to finish off the ace. Knocking off any further hope from the hard breach. Really shut things down for the attack. I was figuring they couldn't take rafters. They go for the con split, but the con wall is closed anyway. Like, that roam from Ambi really working wonders. Playing with the Solus perfectly. Left undroned, getting 2 picks. Splash tried to make a stand in sight. I really like what Splash was doing. Knowing that Ambi was on the roam, knowing that the defense was primarily focused with like rafters and breach. Splash tried to go for a play, but I mean, AAA just had the perfect positioning in sight. No one was exposed to that cash door, and Ambi later came around for the kill. Not a lot LG could do in that situation after losing those first couple of picks, just thanks to the utility they were losing. AAA taking a timeout, technical timeout, Spiker, his game crashed, but he has returned, donning the smoke immediately, of course. Now retry Church, where things looked back and forth for a bit. If the C4 from Neo landed, it would have definitely been a round one, but Asian really stepping in through dirt. We'll see how the second go around for Church goes.
Well, we'll see. Is thankfully reconnectivity issues not lasting too long there, but Arial, Arise, ACAD, they look solid so far. They do still need a couple more defensive rounds, and LG, they've been successful on Church attacks thus far. They'll have to continue that trend though, and hopefully Neo won't end up pulling that C4 just a little bit too early. Could have nearly changed that round, and Arial, Arise, ACAD, they could be on match point for if that C4 had landed. Instead, didn't happen, and here we are. A much closer match, very close match, honestly. It's been throughout the entire match so far, just round for round, tat for tat, other than Chalet. Chalet, yes, like Chalet was definitely very Arial, Arise, ACAD sided. But on the other end, like on Bank and here on Club, it's been very close rounds, especially when it comes to those post plants.
Yeah, and that's, of course, working in the favor of Arial. The fact that they were able to take their opponent's map so close and now remain in the lead here on the decider. Ashen hears Rice shooting the cam. I think he's waiting to listen for the rappel. He'll go for the swing. He catches Rice, but can't do enough damage. The impact comes out, doesn't kill him, but the re-swing. Rice trying to get the kill with the pistol, loses out, and LG lose their thermite.
The ego chow. The ego chow. And it goes huge.
Underage confidence.
Because it's thermite. And Rice dying there makes this round so much more difficult here for LG. I mean, you have one pocket breach gadget on Eddie left over. One of them used to get in the CCTV wall, I assume. And with that being the case, I mean, you have to use it wisely. Extremely wisely. You're not going to be able to open the kitchen hatch. Let's just be real, right? They're going to impact check it. You're not going to be able to get that. So more than likely, you're going to be forced for a Church Blue execute. And I'm sure Arial, Rise, and Cat are aware of this. They're going to be ready exactly for this to come.
Hard breach charge already used by Eddie. Like you said, Uzi primed and ready with those impacts. And he is, I think, playing back Arsenal for now. A lot of blue presence right now from LG up above. Nading out the barbed wire outside of Oil Pit. I don't know where the hard breach was used from Eddie. I think maybe upstairs.
It was to get inside.
There is someone sitting on main. This is a shotgun. Oh no!
What?
Asian freaking tanked it!
Neo didn't believe in it
Neo
enough.
got trolled by the game. That's not even on him. Neo had the play. And then Asian just ate. Neo's got a... Oh, I would be fuming. I'm sure Neo is too. He gives up the equalizer. Luckily, though, you know, he dealt damage, so HP is still relatively even. The Ash dropping Oil Pit. Ambi now aware of it as the hatch falls above him. He's able to successfully rotate out. A brilliant pre-fire from Eddie knocks down the smoke before Uzi refrags. Nade to come out, killing the Evil Eye up on that vent. That's a nice little spot there. Splash is looking to walk in. Right on the cusp of the doorway. Asian getting his pick, but the Maestro behind bar lands the refrag, looking for another as he turns his attention towards blue, downs the other. Asian the last one remaining, and he's so low HP, and he wins it around the bomb chassis. Uzi looked like he had an impact in hand, drops the impact and drops the ball, giving LG the round-tying score.
You had the Alda, Uzi. You had the Alda. You could have just let it sing through the wall. Most likely he had knowledge after one of his teammates died that Asian was 1 HP. And Uzi loses it. Luminosity, there's no way they should be walking away with that round. And Arial, Rise, ACAD giving that one away. Just like on Bank, where we saw them giving away a round to LG. And I bet you this time, Harrison, we'll watch LG give a round right back to AAA, because it's exactly what we saw on Bank. It is the same time frame, too. I think it was round 10. They gave it away, or AAA gave it away, and then round 11, Luminosity gave one away, or something to that extent.
You also see from you saw from the chat, I think Asian said Neo got joked. You really did.
That is facts.
Like Neo gets that kill and they win the round because Asian was the guy who stepped up.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
that's
sometimes
crazy.
where I feel like
This
you
is
just have to
crazy.
believe in the shotgun, and I just think Neo wasn't a believer.
Maybe.
Not enough,
Yeah.
because
Also, did
it
you see
works
they,
for some
uh,
people.
They're opening the bottom garage, like the top of the bottom garage wall, to peak Metal Belk.
Yeah,
That's insane. That is
that's
crazy.
the craziness that they're bringing. I mean, that's the underage confidence.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
hey, as well with Church being the only round, the only site they've lost. They were successful on Gym. They were successful on Cash. They win these next 2 rounds. They win the map. So it's still looking okay for Arial here. I mean, they really should have won the last round. It should be 6-4 by all rights. But they
I
didn't.
just want your pick to be right.
I really do. I really do. I would love to get this pick. Thermite coming out, destroying the wall. Ashen goes for a play, peeking Asian on rafters, and it's unsuccessful. Asian with the first frag. He's low HP, but we saw by last round that doesn't really matter too much. So Ashen probably wanting to get that life back.
Yeah, normally I would have said, like, it's okay. Like, you brought Asian down low HP. You've already put down your util, yada, yada, yada. Not really, considering what we just watched Asian do, going through and winning out that clutch with literally no HP to spare. So, yeah, not the best play there by Ashen, but hopefully the rest of AAA, at least hopefully for you, for your prediction, for your rates, so that you can catch up to John. Does he claim
I'm
that
ahead
you're
of
in the lead?
John.
You think so?
Bro, that's so crap. I literally looked at the spreadsheet. I'm in the damn lead. I'm so mad for trolling me, bro. I like the aggression from Uzi peeking that con window too, trying to get cover for his teammate. Thermite charge going out on the con wall though. That's gonna force Ambi back. C4 might come up from Spiker, but he'll think better of it at least for now.
He's gonna get it.
And gets it on. Oh, because of the Solus. He called he was in that monitor corner. He called he was in the TV corner.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't even think of it.
I'm pretty sure that's how he just got that C4.
No, 100%. 100%.
Fantastic communication from Ambi if that's the case. And they got that equalizer. Now, luckily for the attack, Rice already used all his util. So losing the Thermite in this situation, not the biggest deal in the world, but AAA definitely needed that equalizer.
No, that is absolutely huge. I mean, so what? It's the Thermite, right? The walls have already been opened, but that's still your main guy dedicated to going for the plant. He knows the best places to go for the plant, knows the best times to go for the plant. He's most used to that situation, that scenario. And Splash not going to be caught aiming everyone
Neo.
on LG to fall. Neo showing up huge here in the gym, showing how good he works out, apparently. And, yeah, Arial, Rise, ACAD send themselves on a match point this time around.
So Arial Arise ACAD winning Gym once again. And a timeout is called. I will check the chat.
Luminosity.
And it was LG. Really want to make sure that this goes to overtime. AAA, that last round, Ashen, sure, got maybe a little bit too aggressive, but the C4 follow-up, the comms, on point for AAA. The follow-up, that Logi hold, they had a two-way crossfire with Spiker in from gold. He got the kill before he was traded by the window, and Neo holding down Jim with a passion. Now, AAA go back to cash. Now remember, they won this defense last time thanks to killing the ace really early and some fantastic bandit trick work from Ashen that was definitely unexpected. That's Solus coming into play too by that Master Roam. Ambi putting it all together. Now, you guys can't see this because you're on the timeout screen, but LG are making an adjustment, and that adjustment is Rice on Monty.
And I like it.
At least for now.
To an extent, I like it. I do think that we'll see him stick it. And more than likely, we'll just see like a straight Rafters bully play by LG. Hopefully, their coach, I believe it's Tysus,
Yes, Tysus.
Right? Hopefully, he's spoken some good words to the minds of LG. But on the other end, is it Pigeon? It's Pinion? It's Pinroll for AAA. Maybe he's gotten some good words there to the AAA kiddos as well. LG, though, this is a big round. This is the ultimatum on whether or not they have to come back later in the week and play either tomorrow or Friday. And same thing for AAA. If they close this out, they don't have to come back for the rest of this week. They don't. There's not another VOD of them out here, out in the world, right? You got to close it out. You don't have the stress of playing at 2-2, whether or not you're elimed or you're promoted. You get to worry about that stress-free. You might even get a little bit easier of an opponent based off of how the bracket seeding will work out. LG, on the other hand, you need this round bad. Your playoff record could even depend on it.
Excited to see how this attack shapes up, especially with Uzi and Rafters still on that dock. That has been a mean pick for him. He's now gone from 7-7 to 11-8 now on the defensive half in the last few rounds. We'll have Kixrow now working the Maverick rather than Rice. You can see sticking that Monty, having him with the case. They're opting for this garage take, but Ambi coming up from Secret gets the opening kill onto Splash.
Splash to fall there. Not great. Not a great start.
And another, the Monty!
The Monty dies.
How did he kill him?
He ego peek him from the garage. I don't even know. I don't know what happened. But Eddie, someone who's been relatively quiet all game, he's kind of started to show up here on Clubhouse and needs to do so in a big way for his team. Asian's still alive. Eddie's still alive. And Kixrow has been playing a pretty solid series so far. So there's a good chance. But I don't even know if they're going to be able to get this wall open. I don't think there's a chance. It's too risky. It's too dangerous. You've taken too much damage. And now Kixrow is going to have to fall away completely.
I don't think he got it open.
No.
The positions from AA so good. And now Eddie's on 1 HP. 2 players solo. This nade is gonna have to get a kill. Eddie has got to depth charge someone and get that freebie back, because that is LG's only chance in this round right now. Cash, sure, it might be an easier site to win if you're the attack. But that's only if you can get the walls open. Kix was unable to. They'll have to have a workaround. They'll end up making their claim in con. Kixrow crouch walking his way in, but look at this. AAA are set up for it. They know the rotate has to come. Asian just clearing his corners, ensuring no one's in master, and there isn't. Spiker still has 2 gas canisters remaining. I don't know if he threw one out. It looked like he may have thrown one to go on that onto that master wall, but no. He's thrown it onto the condor, delaying this attack ever so slightly with only 30 seconds remaining. The Lamai almost gets caught. Neo dodges the bullets. Ashen, a kill onto Kixrow. That is oh so important. Eddie, a good refrag, but is it enough? 3 versus 2. Uzi watching the staircase like a hawk, daring LG to come up it.
No way.
And there's Asian with 2.
No way!
They line up. Spiker's the last one remaining, the IGL. The man whose grudge match this is for, and he loses it! Asian! 3 kills, bringing LG back from the brinks of defeat.
I'm not watching real Siege right now, Harrison. No, we did not just see Asian do that. We did not just see Asian do that. Sending LG into overtime, and Arial Rise Academy right on cue, gifting a round back into favor of Luminosity. There's no way that should have happened. LG at the or Arial, yeah, AAA. They had the 5v3. They killed the Monty. The wall wasn't open. You're not supposed to lose CCTV cash if the wall's not open. It's almost impossible. But they all picked Asian. And you just don't do that. Oh.
Yeah, why they were going for the fight instead of just playing time. There was 20 seconds left, even in a 3 versus 2. Uzi didn't have to peek there. I think it was Ambi on the Solus. Did not have to be backing him up. They could just play on site. Hell, 30 seconds left. Play for your gadgetry. Play the Solus.
That is that young confidence.
10 seconds remaining.
Going right out the window.
Now, they do get the defensive side, though. And they do get to start with Jim, which has worked both times. This is the best possible situation for AAA right now. Is defend Jim, win it, then win your attack. The only thing I'm really concerned of is that LG are probably going to go church. AAA haven't won that site.
Defender has been discovered.
Yeah. I I don't know how to feel about this one, Harrison. I don't know which team's gonna take it.
I really don't. Yeah.
I don't know.
Honestly, I think LG have the advantage just because. So, yes, it's been 3-3 halves, but the sites have been really inconsistent for both teams, with the exception of two: Jim for AAA and Church for LG. AAA can defend here, win it. LG can defend Church, win it. But now where does AAA go? None of the sites they have left are 100% win rates. We can cross that bridge when we get to it, though, as Ambi gets the lead-off kill onto Rice. Once again, the Thermite is dead really early on, looking for another as Asian attempts to refrag from Swamp. Ambi goes for the swing again, lights up the Ash. Unsuccessful so far, but kills Eddie trying to support the drone, is staring at him.
Stop
and he
it!
gets a third! Ambi's going huge! He wants AAA to win this. A jump in, but Ashen's there to cover, and that leaves Kicks 1v5. 20, a minute 20 in the round.
The 2As of AAA. Just... What? Ambi, what? What? And Ashen with a one tap to finish off Kicks row. Oh my... Good gracious, Harrison.
That is how you want to start OT. That's a statement.
That is big. But now it's on the pressure of Arial Rise ACAD. I really want to argue that LG does not have the pressure here. I think that Arial ACAD actually has the pressure. Because here they are. They've got to win this attack. They've not been successful against the basement. And I think Asian is going to try to equalize, if not do one better of what Ambi just did.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Like I was saying, right? AAA win Gym. They've been flawless on that site. LG are flawless on Church. So let's say conventional wisdom holds and they win here. Where does AAA defend? They're 0-2 on Church. They're 1-1 on Cash. They don't have another 100% reliable site like Gym. Unless someone just goes huge again. But you cannot reasonably rely upon that to get you rounds over and over again. The timeout has been taken. AAA, their first timeout on this map, their only timeout on this map, now coming in overtime, 7-6.
This is big.
And
Hopefully,
they're also bringing Ying.
hopefully Pinroll will have an idea for AAA of like what is needed to be able to be successful. We'll have to see. Because
It might be Ying.
it could be Ying. Very well. Could be the Ying. Well, I guess timeout 2.0. We'll sit here for another 50 seconds.
All right. Can
That's cool.
we end the timeout early?
I don't think there's a way. I don't think there's a way. So I think we're just gonna be forced to sit here in pain and watch these teams sit here and see these lineups. We can foreshadow what there's 3 of them, are trying to do. More than likely with that Ying, they're gonna try to take advantage and maybe spill something out. Who knows? More than likely, if you do see Uzi stick that Ying, you're gonna see some crazy execute come on through from AAA.
All right. Loading into the lobby.
Yay! After our 2-minute commercial,
Defenders, protect your bombs.
that's that perfect time to run ads right there. That's a perfect ad break moment.
I think AAA, definitely more of a team effort. Meanwhile, in LG, you can definitely point the finger at 2 individuals. Eddie, 12-9, doing well for himself. Asian, 17-8. A tremendous performance from him, especially picking up the likes of Rice and Splash, who have died nearly every round. Rice, in particular, having an extraordinarily slow game. He has quiet games. Yeah, he's had quiet games, of course, because he's on hard support. Never this bad.
5 seconds
Never this
to go.
bad for this long across 13 rounds. But
Yeah, definitely.
I think they're really going to need a couple more people to wake up. Unless Asian just goes huge again,
Attackers
which is
recover
definitely
the
possible. Especially now that they're setting up Bandit, they're setting up a Wamai and Rafters, all for a downstairs defense.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
Do Arial just ignore this? Do they go minimal, kitchen dirt,
I don't
call it a
think
day?
they are. Neo's repelling up. I think they're clearing this.
They are going to clear this, but they might be walking into their own trap. Considering how many resources and how many bodies are up here by LG, this is a big test to Arial's attack. Can they take care of these players? And can they perform a proper execute with Ying upstairs? I think that's what they're going to do. I think they need to use Uzi to actually help them get leverage upstairs and maybe even get a pick early on. But Ashen will take a lot of damage, actually lose his life. Eddie exposing the Ace who tried to open the hatch on their own for the third time now. I believe we've seen Ashen make that play twice where he just tries to walk on through, get that hatch open, but not going to be successful this time around.
They lose that early pick. Luckily, Ashen has opened the kitchen hatch, so it's not the end of the world. They're looking around for this Solus, making sure that he's no longer upstairs, but I'm pretty sure that's what the Jackal pings are on. Moto hatch also already open for the attack, so you don't have to waste any more resources there. My eyes are on Uzi, this Ying. How is the Ying going to affect the round? Are they going to work it for a kitchen drop? Or are they going to work it for a Moto push? Those are the two primary options when it comes to a Ying push on the basement site. Kind of remains to be seen what they want to do with it. They're still just kind of sitting on drones, analyzing the site presence, seeing where they want to go. And the answer might be dirt. They're going to send Ying in dirt.
It might be the play,
He's here, though.
but it might not because Eddie's hanging around here. Uzi, though, could go huge because Eddie obviously is, yeah, I think that's exactly what you're going to see. Just throwing it and just running deep. Eddie tries to get out, but cut off from the hatch. Incredible play by AAA as they brought down one, but Uzi loses his life to Asian. And that is not what you want to see if you're AAA. 30 seconds left, a nade to come through, and more than likely to follow will be the execute, but they'll stall out for just a little bit longer. This is where the time comes. They drop down the hatch. They try to take some fights, but it's Asian to find one. Ambi will get one on the picks row, but things not looking good for Arial. They've lost the diffuser. They're deep in armory, forced back and pinned down by the gas grenade that's been thrown on out. Asian to find another one, trying to equalize the same performance that Ambi just showed out, and will do so more than likely with the revolver of all things. Asian for 4 on the round.
So, Asian goes huge again. He just can't be stopped. 4 kills. He's at 21. 21 and 8. And that's AAA's timeout now done. They're going to church.
Ooh.
They haven't won this site all map.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
They've been unsuccessful both times. The most previous attempt coming down to the wire and Uzi losing it out because he had an impact in his hand rather than staying gun up. This is nerve-wracking. AAA had a pretty decent advantage, able to walk the Ying down dirt, but I think Uzi got a little bit ahead of himself, peeked into Asian, and Asian won the fight. From there, the only real option AAA had was to go in and drop the hatch, and Asian had the perfect angle to stop it. Ambi went for the fight instead of scooting straight to dark spot and getting the plant down. Meaning that case was lost in the middle. Gas grenade answered, pushing the attackers even farther back. And from there, the round was over.
Attackers are heading out to defuse.
Arial Arise looking to roam all 3 floors. Bandit and Mute to cut off the breaches. Solus for that anti-drone support. Uzi walking around with the Oryx, leaving Spiker alone on site. If LG read into this, he could finish off the last round rather quickly with a rush. But it seems like they do indeed want to full clear the map.
They want to play their game, and we can scratch the last 2.5 hours that we've been watching Siege, Harrison, because this is the only round that matters. Map 1 did not matter. Map 2 did not matter. Round 15 of Map 3 is what matters, and that's where we are right now, and this is the dire situation that both teams currently involving themselves with. It's 120 seconds left on the timer for something to happen and some sort of action to come on through. More than likely, we'll see within 90 seconds kills happening and an attack ensuing. But one of these teams need players to step up, whether that's Splash and Rice for the side of LG, whether that's Spiker for the side of Arial Acad, or whether that's some of the stars that have gone through. And it may just be this explosion to go through. They know of Neo's position. They're just going to walk on through. This is the risk that's going to be made. The skeleton key to grab the kill. And here is the execute coming through from LG. It's 3 kills for LG as now Uzi and Ambi, the last men are alive. And now Ambi, all alone in the bomb site, has to try to clutch out for AAA so they don't have to play another round. But it's going to be a 1v5 and it's a flawless round for LG to clean out this execute. And Arial Arise ACAD. Nearly, but just not enough.
I don't know how Arial dropped that map. They had so many opportunities. So many. Asian didn't even need to get a kill that last round. They had every opportunity in the world to win rounds and end this map before overtime. And they just couldn't do it. I can't explain it. Arial, it's back to the drawing board. LG were simply better. The clutch factor was there. Asian was there. And that last round, I talked about it leading up during the setup. If LG read into this, they can fast push and overwhelm the site players. Sure, a couple of those roamers came back, but only 2 of them were in a position to meet that attack head on. And they both got smoked. And the very fact that they got smoked, it doesn't make any sense. Neo is on that dirt door. Why is he backing up and switching weapons? Take the damn fight. The cover too. They were dealing damage to Eddie. And then the guy dealing damage to Eddie had to back off, and Neo just dropped the ball. Neo has to be gun up there. Those roamers need to be back on site well beforehand. As soon as that hard breach was destroyed, there was no more clear. AAA needs to identify that way sooner and get back into their site positions because LG read into it perfectly. They rushed in perfectly. And those few anchors that were there missed their shots.
I thought this match would be close, Harrison. I didn't think it was going to be round 15, map 3 close. And, I mean, just small mistakes from AAA, really, are what costed them this match. They very easily could have come out victorious, and LG just barely doing so. They just had one less mistake than AAA, and that was the final round. Exactly what you're talking about with Neo not being, in the best position there for the dirt door. You also had players like Asian popping off and clutching out. And when it came to that, Arial Arise ACAD, they just barely could not close out some of these rounds. They threw away just a few too many, and LG just making less mistakes on the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's typically what an 8-7 victory comes down to. Just fewer mistakes and better clutch factor. I mean, I could list the rounds on my hand that Arial Academy should have probably won. I mean, the one that really comes to mind is that Uzi 3K. But I mean, there's more. Like that final round of regulation, they should have won. They denied the Maverick. They completely closed Platwall. They held on to Garage, and what happens? They peek. They peek into Asian. They all die to Asian. I think three of them died to Asian.
Yep.
I mean, there was that bar round where they had the perfect plant set up. They have Spiker planting in the back under the coverage of smoke. They walk their way up bar, and they all just miss their shots.
Yep.
And they all die. There were
Maestro.
So many opportunities.
Play from Uzi where he pulled out the impact. Should have been able to shut them down walking through dirt.
Yep.
Or through blue. I mean, there were so many times. You can name them all. There's so many rounds that these just minute mistakes that didn't look that gravitational when it happened ended up changing the entire course of the game and how things closed out. Arial Rise ACAD should have won this game very well. But instead of winning it, they actually lost it for themselves. I mean, look at the numbers being dropped by some of these young players. And on the credit of LG, Asian and Eddie continuing to do what they do and drop plenty of kills. But the rest of that supporting crew, yet again, not finding the scoreboard in big ways that they need to, especially going on further into SCS.
Yeah, Spiker having a really slow game. becoming like going from the highest rated player on the team to relatively silent this whole series is something we can't be seeing from Spiker. And Rice, we were criticizing going 3-11. Splash wasn't having a great game either, but when Asian's going 21-8, and what's really funny too is he didn't have he had a good rating. He didn't have like a 21-8 rating. Like usually when someone goes off like that, you expect him to be like up towards the 2.0. There's only a 1.6. He only had a 60% cost. He had 21 kills and a 60% cost because so many of them were late round. So many of them were where like LG weren't supposed to win and Asian would just walk in and end up clutching. But we can get a little bit more in depth on LG's play. We have the interview ready, and it is their coach, Tysus. A real nail biter there. I mean, taking each other's map picks, going 8-7 all the way. How nervous were you heading in just every round at Clubhouse?
Yeah, to be honest, I was really nervous. Even if the English was tough to actually say. The team was pretty good. We could won a lot of gunfights and a lot of clutches. So we made it through. And my dad just told me, he just sent me a message, thank God for this win. And it was actually tough. They played very well.
Yeah, what do you think, especially on Clubhouse, all the way down to round 15, what do you think was the thing that really pushed your team over the edge to not only keep coming back in these rounds, but keep it up with AAA and end up winning?
Experience. That's all. Experience we had. We have this play of going dirt, hitting dirt. We played very well. We just called this play on the, on the timeout. So there was a lot of timeouts, and we could adjust a little bit more of the team.
Okay, and with what was the philosophy going back to Bank after playing, after being a map that you guys play so much? At AAA do their homework. They have pin rolls. Who's a great coach, and a map that you guys just lost to OXG. And what was the plan bringing out Bank, and what did you guys focus on fixing from that last game?
Well, we didn't have much info for a AAA Bank, so basically we just played our default. And to be honest, we played very well against OXG. We should have won at least the Bank map against them. So it is a good map for us, and that's a comfort pick. That's it.
Okay, that makes sense. And with actually all three maps, we had Solus left up. Because we see a lot of teams really not want to use her, especially on a map like Chalet. What was your guys, especially getting crushed by the Solus that OXG were using? Why'd you guys decide to leave her up, and what did you learn from that game and how to use her?
Well, we learned a little bit, but right now we learn a lot more, in my opinion. Solus is a overpowered operator. I don't like her, to be honest. It's too OP. Like sometimes you cannot you cannot drone, you cannot pre-place your drones. Solus can watch literally every drone of the prep phase. So even if you place it outside the map, she can just throw an impact grenade on garage wall, for example, and destroy 2 drones. So it's very OP. And I honestly don't like the addiction of this operator, because it is good for the teams that don't drone and actually just go red in and stuff like that,
Yeah. How would you change her if you had the option?
I would exclude her.
you would just wipe her from the game totally.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I know, at least it probably sucks to play against, but I know as a spectator, it's definitely fun seeing Solus in the prep phase, running out and getting drones, which is something that we don't see often. And working more into the ban phase. We had a couple weird bans on Chalet. What was your thought banning the Twitch from AAA, and then how did you guys respond to the smoke?
Well, the smoke ban didn't affect us too much, also because we didn't defend so much. So basically, we just changed the smoke for another operator, so it's really fine. I don't think the smoke ban was pretty good, but well, they won. And about the Twitch, it was just a counter ban, just try to do something different. Gotcha. And basically that was the idea.
Okay. And with what do you call it? Especially with Bank in particular, why do you think Capitao is kind of having a bit of a resurgence?
Well, Capital is a pretty good operator. Normally, teams don't know how to use it. But for example, on Chalet, you have like they did the attack with Capital on the bar. So basically, that's like a good operator. You can use it on like almost every site, mostly with the one my band. So if you know how to use it, you go and use it. You know, it's very good.
And then my last question before we go is going to be, I mean, not just on Clubhouse, but across the entire series, right? Asian went 15-6, 10-7 in the loss, and then 21-8. You know, I know you guys had him on LG. He was a big part of LG before he went to BB. Now coming back, I mean, how have you reacclimated Asian to this roster? And I mean, what does he mean for the team?
Well, to be honest, we changed some roles in the team. But as from I saw, I remember Asian on stage 2 with us, and right now Asian is a totally different guy. He's better, his mental is better, and his gun skills are better. I don't know, he trained a lot, there's a lot on PB, and he got better. So he's a beast, and that's it.
Well, I mean, I can understand, you know, his attitude and professionalism is getting better, but the fact that his gun skill has gotten better, you know, and this guy, I guess, is just unstoppable now. He's just Thanos on the map. But Tysus, thank you very much for the interview. It was a hell of a game, and congratulations. You guys make playoffs. I didn't even mention that. You guys are confirmed for playoffs. Finally, Tysus, thank you so much for the interview, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys bring out in the playoffs.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. And there you have it. Moving on to the game stats. I mean, I highlighted Asian's individual map performance, but 46 and 21. This guy was plus 25 in 3 maps. I mean, that is just tremendous.
Yeah, and in, I want to say, like, just about that 30 round range, maybe just over it. I mean, that's
let's see, we went
incredible.
12, 9, and then 15, so about 36 rounds.
So yeah, so near 40, but just under that, right? Incredible play. Asian really being that standout highlight performer. But let's give some credit to AAA. Uzi 7-1 on entry.
Ambi
6-2 on entry. Some of those good aggressive plays really shined out and showed for AAA. They made a difference in this game and kept it very close when doing so. LG, though, they were finally able to punch their ticket to the playoffs after losing to Oxygen. A near showing, a very tight showing with AAA, but closing it out.
The other thing that I think we... Oh.
No, you're here. Oh, maybe you're...
Maybe... I'm back. Okay, something that I think we also need to talk about with AAA is their roles. Real quick, Mr. Producer Zayshow, can we bring up the total like match stats again real quick? I want to point something out. Ashen was always the star player of this team, right? 4 and 8 on entry. -4. Ashen is almost never negative on the entry, at least on his old roles. And I think it's a valuable talking point with AAA. Ashen has not been doing nearly as well, and I think the team as a whole has not been as dominant now that Ashen has swapped roles. Like, he was playing Ash a good bit on one of the maps, I think it was Bank, but for the most part, he's almost taken like a secondary support role, and I think it's hurt him. Because Ashen is this really fast, aggressive player. He loves getting in those entry engagements. He's a fantastic entry player. But I don't think they're really using him correctly. Like, Ambi also a fantastic fragger. But Ambi was molded into like this frag support that he really thrives in and can still flex back onto entry. I don't think the same can be said for Ashen. I really think there needs to be some role swap talks amongst AAA. Like, maybe Spiker can go back to that secondary support with Ashen kind of taking up that flex role, because Ashen also has a lot of history on those sledge/flex operators. Maybe trade roles with Neo, have Ashen on kind of that secondary entry on that Jackal, you know, that lurk role, because the Ashen lurks used to go freaking crazy. But I don't know. I think it's one of the reasons why they lost this game was losing Ashen so early on in a lot of these rounds on really important operators, because he's not being let loose like he used to be.
Yeah, I agree with you entirely there. I mean, Neo, I highlighted it, I believe, on Chalet, if not Clubhouse. But Neo was picked up for more of that supportive role that he plays, and now being tried out on this secondary entry role and kind of lurk role sometimes with the Jackal. I just don't think it's worked out for AAA as well as it maybe they thought it was going to. I agree with you. I think that Ashen is definitely by far the best gunner player overall, and can be the most consistent when he's on that entry role for AAA. And having to drone someone else in instead of being able to drone, or instead of being that person to go shoot, is something that AAA might want to look at, especially considering it's down to the nitty gritty. But it might be too late for a role change, considering they have to play now either tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah,
because
they're in that decider
the end
game.
of the season, and it's the decider game. Each team will be 2-2. I believe there's 3 games that'll be taking place, and there you have it. We have Vipers versus Astralis.
Oh,
IF
versus
AAA, and Wichita Wolves versus 6K. Harrison, quick predictions. Who do you think out of these?
I'm gonna say Astralis, AAA, 6K. I think all the right side teams. I don't think, especially with how Vipers kind of crashed and burned against PB. I think Astralis are going to be able to take it to them. IF are a very good team, but I think they'll simply get outgunned by AAA. And I mean, Wichita Wolves don't look nearly as solid without JJ. And I think 6K are just going to kind of run all over them.
Every single point that you made is exactly what I was gonna say. Like,
Yeah.
every single thing.
Look at
So I'm right there with you. I definitely agree. So tomorrow, look forward to those matchups. Friday as well. One of those matches will take place. But other than that, I mean, it's been fun. 2 promotion games today, so 2 teams are happy. 2 teams maybe not so much, but they're not too sad yet because they're not out of the woods yet. But you have to look forward to tomorrow to go ahead and watch those matches. But for Harrison, for me, for the SCS crew here tonight, thanks to everyone for watching, hanging out. Harrison, thanks for joining alongside me and casting. It's been fun as always, and well, hopefully we'll be back sometime for a playoff match within the next week or 2. But for that, that's gonna do it for us for tonight. Take care. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
On a double though, and he finds the third through the smoke.